Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Bruins blew a 2-0 second period lead and lost in New Jersey last night. He also ran Devils 4-3 in overtime. David Pastrnak scored twice for his team, but it was not enough.
We started playing their hockey, what they wanted exactly. Make their numbers play up and down, make mistakes, and that's, against a talented team like that you're going to defend the whole period. So unacceptable, we talked about it before second period, so that's what hurts even more, We should be mature enough already to know that it's coming.
Paul Cotter scored 2 goals for the Devils, and that includes the game winner with 6.2 seconds left in extra time. The Bruins will be in Montreal tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics swept their season series with Phoenix last night, care of a 121-12 win at TD Garden. This was never more than a 10-point game either way, but Jaylen Brown carried his team across the finish line. He scored 18 of his game-high 41 points in the fourth quarter. Devin Booker scored 40 for the visitors. The Green host Golden State tomorrow night. Patriots linebacker Jack Gibbons signed with Arizona yesterday. The New York Jets traded quarterback Justin Fields to Kansas City. At the World Baseball Classic, Venezuela beat Italy last night 4-2 in the semifinals. So it'll be the U.S. against Venezuela in the final tonight in Miami. And the Red Sox rained out of their exhibition game against Baltimore last night down in Florida. Sonny Gray pitches today in Fort Myers against Atlanta. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Prolotherapy. Don't let joint pain keep you off the court, course, or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Franke of Boston Prolotherapy. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Get out of there. You look good right now, Lumbo.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617. I forgot the phone number, 779-0985. I'm losing my mind, my memory. Probably because I'm so focused on getting into this computer. I did it. Hooray.
Yay.
You're in?
I'm in.
Hey. Way to go, Lumbo.
Yeah. I got a mustache and mullet.
If you just use a typewriter, you wouldn't have to worry about that dang television screen in front of you.
Yeah, but the typewriter don't got the inf. The typewriter's for sending out memos.
Imp should be up here, upstairs. The old cranium.
Well, I don't have my book of sports trivia, which is what I usually rely on.
Should keep that right next to you at all.
The only time I ever heard Mike and the Mad Dog live, ever, which I contend was not a good show. Mad Dog I like. Mike and the Mad Dog was not a good show. And wildly, I think, over praised. I really do. I mean, you would think that everyone listened to that show, and it's just not true.
Well, Letterman listened to it, and he was obsessed with it, and would have Mad Dog on his show, and he would talk about it.
Seinfeld was obsessed with it, too.
Dog was always on at like 1:15 in the morning. He was always the last guy out there.
But he also had Stern, and he also, when he was at WNBC, he also had, who was the guy that would come out in Marv Albert, but then he would have
Warner Wolf.
I don't know, remember. But he had a bunch of like local guys. They were like in the building, basically. But the only time I ever heard them, I was at the beach. I had to go to New Jersey. I had to go to the shore, Jersey Shore. And I went, oh, yeah, I'm probably within the signal of WFAN. And I put on WFAN. It was Mike and the Mad Dog. And they were talking about some boxer. And Mad Dog went to go look at the sports almanac in front of him. And there was like, I kept thinking that the radio had gone off. Like I had lost the signal to the place.
Oh. Maybe
because it was just dead silence.
You caught him on a bad day.
I'll check it out. And then like...
Yeah. You're looking it up?
Yeah. So,
did you find it?
Not captivating. It's funny too because we get all these industry publications that are like digital that send emails with articles.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently the people at Philadelphia Sports Radio, they don't think that the sports radio is any good anymore, which is funny to me because one of the guys, his kid is on the air now at that station, and also he left the station under mysterious circumstances because he was accused of assaulting an Aramark employee or something like that.
Oh.
Like sexually or something like that, like very weird stuff. And then Beningo, who we've had on this show, and who's funny because he's just like a fan that is very loud, said that WFAN will never be the same as when he did overnights. And that's very true. I mean, when Beningo did overnights, that was the zenith of radio right there.
Yeah, a lot of, I read that article too, or skimmed through it, and the people who were not pleased with the current state of sports talk radio, for the most part, were people who are no longer employed in sports talk radio.
Well, they were legitimately like men in their 70s that were, and that's what I've often expressed. I used to talk to Cadillac about it. There is this thing about people that used to be on the radio that just end up complaining about radio from a weird, obscure digital platform that no one looks at, which is really a nightmare. And I'm not kidding. That's a real nightmare, is to not be on the radio anymore and then make a podcast that's never going to be successful. You know, some guys like Drew Lane in Detroit made a pretty successful podcast. Like, you know, he'd made a business, like a real business out of it. That's one thing. But there's another thing to just, you know, hook up a microphone to your computer and send it out into the ether and sit there bitching about it, bitching about everything, not about the industry, which is really a nightmare because these guys made a lot of money. They're retired with money. And they just, something's missing in their life. They're seemingly miserable. The one guy, Andrew Catali or whatever his name is terrible. He could never carry an audience anymore. He's terrible. His solo morning show mumbling about sports. There's no way. If he was up against us, we would destroy him. It's so boring. You just come on and talk about the Phillies game for 2 hours and take phone calls. You can't do that and carry an audience. In this landscape, when there's 10,000 ways to read and hear and watch coverage of your team, that just coming on and going blah, 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 blah. It's but terrible.
Well, and to me, like, the whole conversation revolves around these guys who think sports talk should be done a certain way, where the more I think about it, sports talk radio now is just talk radio. Tell me where the talk radio exists in a popular form now that is not under the umbrella of sports talk. There's not a lot of it out there anymore.
No, it does not really exist.
Sports talk radio has become talk radio. And you cover everything. And even on the hardcore sports stations, you'll hear them, doing non-sports topics a lot. I know on this show, sometimes we'll dabble in non-sports area.
The one advantage you have on being on the radio every day is that you can share your life and that people feel connected to you. And if that is what becomes habitual, I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand. I figured it out when I was a little kid. I managed to see the WROR Howard Stern show and realize, oh, yeah, he's talking about his life. That's what's interesting. That's what's compelling about it. And then you feel like you know the guy. Everyone else just thought he was, having lesbians on. Even when I was a little kid, I understood that. But these guys, they complain. But, my father retired, and he doesn't sit there bitching about WB Donor. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't care. And if he does talk about it, he waxes about how brilliant everyone was.
And didn't drink.
No, he doesn't say they didn't drink. He says they had 3 martini lunches, but he says Mad Men's fake because they didn't have alcohol. He's a little bit of, he contradicts himself a little bit on the old Donor stuff. Mm. His boss was a huge drunk, not at Donor, but at one job he had, his boss was a huge drunk, and you had to get to him before lunch because by the time he came back from lunch, he was a mean drunk. But he can't stand Mad Men because that's not the way things were on Madison Avenue, which he worked on. At the time, Mad Men is set, but he very vociferous about not thinking that was the way it really was.
I think it also speaks to how your father processes joy in his life, because wouldn't it be much more joyful to lean into, even if it were only a handful of memories that connected to that Mad Men time? Like, lean into that, attach yourself to that, as opposed to pushing back against it, because, it looked fun for the most part. It's a celebration of sorts, even if you think it wouldn't fly in today's world. But instead, he insists that it wasn't like that.
The only thing that he speaks fondly of, he's spoken fondly of throughout his life, was his time at Dartmouth. Apparently, he enjoyed being in that fraternity at Dartmouth. That he enjoyed. They had a keg in the basement. They had a keg stand, like a real keg with a tap that was always full.
That's nice.
That was very impressive to him. So he talks about that. But other than that, nothing. Nothing. He remembers nothing fondly. I don't know very much about my father. I've been thinking about that recently. If my father was to die soon, there was quite a bit I wouldn't know about him. And if I asked my mother, she wouldn't know either. So there's a lot. I told you I didn't know he lived in Texas. He lived in Texas for a year and went to a segregated school because schools were segregated in Texas. And he was talking about that last year. And I'm like, you lived in Texas? I had no idea he had ever lived in Texas. He's like, yeah, my dad, whatever, was training or did something and he had to go to Texas. And I'm, This has never been mentioned. You've been on the planet for 84 years. I'm 51 years old, and you've never mentioned any of this to me. We lived in the same house for quite some time.
There's a handful of things that came out. I found out that my dad had an infant sibling. He had 2 brothers and 1 sister, but they had another one who died, while they were still a baby. Never got mentioned or brought up. That seems like it would be a traumatic thing that, you would. I'm not saying that you celebrate or, talk about this baby who died all the time. But my dad was also, I found out later on in life, was in the Army for 6 months. And wait a second. I thought you had signed up for at least 2 years. No, that's BS. What do you mean it's BS? No, I left. Oh. What do you mean he left? I didn't like it.
Government usually frowns on that.
I don't think you can do that. Hell, you can't. I'm like, okay. But I never really found out. And then after he died, we found some Army stuff, it was name patches that said pool on it and stuff. But no, apparently. And my mom didn't know him at the time, but she said, yes, your father was in the Army, but for a short time. I said, was he dishonorably discharged? No. Well, I don't know, but he left. You can't leave the Army.
Yeah, it seems like once you... And that would have to be around Nam, right?
No, he was born in 36, so it would have been like during the Korean War, I would think. Like
Or maybe that sweet spot
mid-50s?
between wars.
Yeah, the honeypot.
Yeah, the little honeypot situation.
I don't know, but he didn't really talk about it. Didn't talk about it. Never got a chance to ask him.
36.
So if you were 18, that would have been in 54.
Yeah.
So that.
When's the Korean War, John? You were alive?
I don't know. I was not alive for that.
Well, you were alive for MASH.
I was alive for MASH.
Well, then, I mean, when was MASH set?
They were in Korea, yes. I don't know specifically what years.
When did oddballs get to pinch nurses and have martinis? What year
you
was
know
that?
what?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was post-Korean War. That was from 1950 to 1953. So, yeah, he was in the honeypot.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because my father went to officers training school in anticipation for Vietnam. But then something happened there, so I don't know what happened. But nonetheless, very exciting times when these guys are bitching about it. But that is I've thought about that, and I've seeked solace in solace that for people that have been in radio for longer than me, and I said, what is it with these guys? They retire. I mean, because even if you lose your job when you're in your late 50s on, if you've been in radio radio is impossible to stay in. It's very, very difficult. I mean, if you checked in your own memory banks, if you're listening, to the people that you can remember that were on the radio for more than, let's say, 6 years in one market, you're really running out of real estate pretty quickly. So if you were in a market for 20, 30 years, you had a 1% chance of that happening. And these guys have made millions and millions and millions of dollars. But for whatever, and they're old, like legit old, like end of their life old, like not old man, like not that crap, like real old, for real old, like dying old. And they
dead.
No, this isn't like, some middle-aged guy is like, hey, I don't trust anyone over 30. This is, 75, 76 years old. This is old. And they're still so bitter, so bitter.
If you were to leave radio, Fred, and let's say you didn't have to work, would you work doing something?
Yeah. I think I'd lose my mind if I didn't work.
Absolutely.
I don't like to do anything. That's something I got to figure out in the time that I have. I have to figure out. That's a big thing they say. They say you need to, before you can retire, you need to know what you want to do, like how you're going to fill your time.
Something to do, something to love, and something to hope for.
Well, that's the thing, Matty.
Those are the three keys.
So you'd be fine.
No, but I would work too.
Yeah, I know you would, because you'd feel an obligation to. But you could fill the days if you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, I couldn't. I would lose my mind. I would have a mental breakdown.
Let's get on that pickleball court, buddy. Come on.
See, the thing about stuff like that is that if I guess if I really enjoyed it, but then I don't know. It just feels like a kind of a waste of time. I don't know. I have to get over that.
Go home and watch Seinfeld again. What, John?
No, I was just going to say.
That's not a waste of time.
No, but I've already worked. And I also have kids. So, like, if I had nothing, like no real responsibilities.
On the handful of days where you don't have anything to do with your kids or responsibilities and you don't do anything after work, do you feel like you've wasted a day?
I feel like I'm wasting time, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's the issue. I got to find things that I enjoy doing that I don't feel like I'm just wasting my time. Like, if you enjoy doing something, then you're not wasting your time.
Yes.
Not saying you're wasting your time. I'm saying you're not. I feel like I'm wasting my time because I don't really enjoy it. If you're enjoying yourself, that's what life is all about, I suppose. Is that you're out there doing things you enjoy. But I just don't know what that is.
You like doing this.
Right.
It's not
John
just a job.
understands.
You like doing this. And when this ultimately is taken from you, then you are trying to look for something else.
It's a
responsibility.
It's a responsibility that I got to that I have to do. It's just a job. It's like something that it's a schedule and something that I'm required to do. If I don't have that, I'm being compensated for doing it. So when that's gone, I don't know. Adam knows what I'm talking about. Adam and I
know what you're talking about.
And John knows.
Yeah.
Hardy's on an island this time. Thank you.
What would you do, John, work-wise, if you weren't doing radio?
That's the thing. I don't like anything nearly as much as this. I don't know what I would be doing work-wise if I didn't have this. I agree with Fred. Same thing. I do feel that there are days where, the kids are off doing whatever they're doing. They're old enough now. My wife is working on a Saturday, and I feel like if I don't do something, the day is wasted. When I am no longer doing this, I too have to find something that I truly enjoy doing. John cooks shrimp scampi. Whether it be food or anything else.
What about a line cook?
The point is, I agree with Fred. I know exactly what he's talking about. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Plus, if you work a little bit, you can supplement that retirement.
Yeah. It's a thing. Keep yourself active. Something that's rewarding, something that you genuinely appreciate.
That's something else in terms of like financial viability and retirement. They say if you can have some income coming in, like just some money coming in other than, your retirement savings, that's huge. Even if it's just a little bit to spend on the little extras.
Because our parents got pensions. I take it your father had a pension of some sort.
Yeah, he did have one from because as a Yellow Page salesman, he was originally working for like Ma Bell from Michigan Bell, and then my mom did from the school district. She still does.
Well, most people had pensions because there wasn't 401ks. 401ks was just a way to prop up the stock market. They gave you tax incentives for investing, and so they didn't have to pay you after you retired or were fired. So the pension, like my father has a decent pension, not, nothing he could like live off of, but it's supplemental income. Most people had that, our parents' age. The 401k came in, I don't think overly long ago, maybe 40, 50 years ago, they started mass 401ks. Because you used to just get a pension, a nice little salary.
Yep.
After you were done, they agreed to pay.
Talking about my father when he retired, that's exactly what happened to him.
I think because it's not only white collar jobs. I mean, you still get pensions for government jobs, but yeah, I think that if you were in a union, you got a pension. A lot of people got pensions, but now they just let you invest in the stock market.
Yeah.
For a tax break, and then sometimes employees match. Not here.
We got a sweet one here.
Well, yeah, if you like zero.
I know.
Yeah, help me out? Nope. A little bit, like a half of a percent of something. Nope.
Sorry, sir.
But the upside of that is our insurance sucks. So we got that as well. All right.
You want to take 6 weeks off? Have fun. That's good. Good for you.
Unless you're sick and then you don't get paid.
Yeah. You got to give me a little something for the effort?
Yeah.
No.
But before you can make that little amount, you have to fill out these 80 pages.
Oh, no, that wasn't the company paying that. That was you paid for the insurance, and then the insurance paid you 1/100th of your salary.
Man.
Maybe legitimately 1/100th of your salary. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Both of our local winter teams played yesterday. It's very exciting.
More Dutcher and Hardy on the way on the Sports.
Did you catch the game last night?
Oh, yeah. We are Toucher and Hardy, and it was a dealer's choice last night. Did you want to see the green, or did you want to see the black and gold? And that, my friends, is a real treat on a Monday night in the it's still winter, right?
Technically,
in the winter,
yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and look at it's not exactly a beautiful day, so let's just say it's.
But it's not cold. How about that, Fred?
It's getting colder every hour today, though. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It's going to drop about 10 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah. So bundle up. Bundle up, baby.
Oh, and it's going to be windy.
Oh, yeah. I was up all night with that wind howling.
Huh.
Because I got crappy window, like blinds, and they suck in when the wind blows.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's high is 37.
Yeah. Why not?
It's
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. At least I'm going to Florida. If it was like 70 degrees when I went to Florida, I'd be pissed.
Yes.
Because I do want that feeling of getting off the plane and going, like it's very nice.
Sure.
When are you going to Florida?
Friday.
After the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gone the first 3 days next week.
First 3 days.
And then, Hardy, you're gone the Friday, right?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, we'll be back together on Thursday next week.
Oh,
Kaboom.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real nice.
Bruins and Celtics toggling back and forth. That remote getting a workout last night.
Woo.
Last. Yeah. Well, let's start first with David Pastrnak as the Bruins were in New Jersey playing the Devils. First period.
Minton's got it back now coming into the New Jersey end. Lobs one toward the slot. Off the glove of Brad into the far corner. Husnadinov is there. Back to Yoki Hardy with the right point. With a shot. Save made. Pasternak's got the rebound and scores!
Johnston's so good.
Yes.
That's a great call.
All year.
Pastrnak was all alone in front. Had a chance to deke a couple of times, and then beats Markstrom to make it a 1-0 lead.
It was a pretty nifty goal there to get on the board first for Boston last night. Pavel Zacha would also score in the first period. So, B's up 2-0 after one. Looking good. 32 seconds into the second, Connor Brown scores, and a few minutes later...
McAvoy keeps that puck into the blue line, then he lost it. And here's Jack Hughes coming forward. Jack Hughes got it off to Brown and off to the far side, and they score. One-timer from the far circle by Jesper Bratt, and New Jersey evens it up at 2.
Yeah, that's an unexcusable turnover. I don't know what McAvoy was doing. He almost just passed it right to Jack Hughes. I mean, he just gave it to him, and then that second period... They were absolutely atrocious.
They looked so good in the first 10 minutes especially. They were dominating New Jersey, a team that has no shot at the playoffs. They're bad. And you figure, okay, for a change, they're going to knock a team down and step on their throat. And then less than a minute into the second period, everything changed again. This is not the first time this has happened to this team.
No, it was. I mean, they couldn't have played worse than second period. Korpisalo kind of kept them in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the time of possession in the Bruins end was
it was
almost unbelievable.
I know. I kept thinking there was the Bees were on the penalty kill just because so much time spent down in their own end. But.
Well, in the third period, everyone decided just to go. I mean, Kastelik fought twice last night, so you figured. I mean, there was just penalty to the end of that game.
Yeah, it was fun. Paul Cotter, by the way, scoring 250 into the third. So New Jersey would take the lead. David Pastrnak once again to the rescue. 2 minutes later.
And that puck kicks on to Pastrnak, who's got to lane up the right wing side. He's got help coming down the middle. Pasta drags to his backhand and scores!
Little toe drag.
Great move by Pastrnak.
Little toe drag.
His second of the night, and we are tied at 3.
Don't worry about it. Toe drag.
It's one of those goals where it's like he's the only guy in the team who can score that that way. I mean, that's it.
I mean, one of the only guys in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a professional scorer.
He's a professional hockey player and good at scoring.
Yeah,
and
you got that right.
We got a tie game. We're going to overtime.
He was pretty pissed too when they kept taking stupid penalties and stuff. He was getting agitated. Good for him.
Yeah.
Maybe put the C on that kid's chest.
He
Don't
should.
give it to McAvoy.
No.
His dumb turnovers.
No. I think this has been a foregone conclusion for a long time.
So
McAvoy is an odd player because he's everyone, like, you know, he's a big, always like first defenseman for Team USA and stuff. But he doesn't seem like a great player for the Bruins.
Horrific turnovers. You know, he makes some, and some of them, I would say it's execution, but a lot of them are decisions that he makes that I don't get. I don't understand it. But for the overtime, well, rarely does an overtime it seem go any more than, you know, a minute or two. But this one went the distance,
Pastrnak
right?
just inside the blue line, able to find some space, crossing pass, McAvoy hit the post! And now it's cleared out. Jack Hughes waiting for it at center ice, gets it on to Cotter, right down the doorstep, he scores!
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that.
6.2 to go in overtime, the Devils win
That's
it.
3-on-3. I mean, if you hit the post and it rebounds all the way out to
They
center
had
ice.
2-on-0 the other way.
There's nothing you can do.
You hung them up, but this is said before, Bruins never should have been in that position.
No.
I mean, how many leads have they blown? The game in Pittsburgh, how big was that lead? And then you go to a team like Nashville, who is basically selling, and you get stomped. I mean, San Jose comes here and beats you. Look, the Bruins are exceeding expectations, I think, from a lot of people.
Yes, they
when
are.
They started the season.
There's no question.
But they should be better than this. They should not be scrapping with these teams. They should be beating these teams. I mean, they're in playoff position, but I think they should be better than the record shows. And if you look, the 37-23 and something, I mean, it looks good. You look at it on paper, but they have left so many points on the table in the last 2 or 3 weeks. They shouldn't be dealing with these teams. They shouldn't be losing to half of these teams they're losing to, just by talent alone.
Well, David Pastrnak agrees with you.
They start play their hockey, you know what they wanted exactly. Make their numbers play up and down, make mistakes, and that's, you know, against talented team like that you're gonna defend the whole period. So unacceptable, you know. We talked about it before second period, so that's what hurts even more. You know, we should be mature enough already to know that it's coming.
I mean, it goes back to that disaster outdoors against Tampa Bay. They have had multiple goal leads and kicked them away. How many times in the National Hockey League do you see a team lose a 2 or 3-0 lead? It just doesn't happen a lot. Bruins do this a ton. There's no lead that's safe with this team, and considering the goaltending, which is not terrible. I mean, Swayman's been up and down. Korpisalo is what he is.
Their goaltending's been good.
Yeah, and this shouldn't be happening.
No, it's not goaltending. Goaltending has kept them, is the only reason they're in playoff position.
So I don't understand what's going on with this team. And yesterday is a perfect example of this.
I'll tell you what it is, John, is they're not very good. It's like they're fine. That's what the issue is that they're a heavy team that wants to, you know, hit you and tire you out, and then they lead, and when they can't come back from making mistakes like that. You know, the goals that New Jersey scored last night were off of mistakes, except for the overtime winner.
We've heard the same. It's not even analysis, just bare assessment of the situation from Fluto and from Jim McBride, and even Brian has kind of alluded to it. When they end up losing, not to the Devils, which they shouldn't, but there are a lot of teams that are they're either better or the Bruins just don't have enough skilled players to either prevent things like that from happening or dig themselves out when they get punished.
Well, how do you explain getting crushed by Nashville, who is a terrible team that had given up on the season, had made 4 or 5 trades before you played them,
well,
and you were down 5-1 in the second period?
Well, whatever. There's 82 games, but I will tell you that they can't afford to make mistakes like they've been making.
Right.
Like there's a very low margin for error. And when they make those mistakes, other teams capitalize, and that's what happens.
The other part of it is it's not just one kind of mistake. You look at the Bruins. They have the guys that are the top 2 in the National Hockey League in penalty minutes. So you could say, well, they take too many penalties, give the other team too many power plays, and they're able to crawl back in the game. You saw that against Tampa, for example, in the outdoor game. Last night wasn't like that at all. They didn't spend a lot of time in the penalty box other than the fighting, which is matching. They just made a ton of mistakes in the neutral zone and other places.
Well, they tried to take bad penalties. They certainly did. But then New Jersey would match them. Look, the third period and the overtime were interesting and fun, but neither of those teams looked very good. They both looked like incredibly flawed teams. And Jack Hughes looked like the best player on the ice.
3 assists last night.
Yep.
And so Pasternak and Jack Hughes. But Jack Hughes controlled the game more than Pasternak did. But I mean, that's the thing. And that's you would think that that's kind of what McAvoy should be doing, but I don't know.
Well, there were two guys in the Suns Celtics game last night that were controlling things and scoring a whole bunch of points. We'll talk about
one
that.
One of them is the top 5 player in the league, according to the broadcast.
Mm-hmm. This year,
yeah,
we did. We had that exercise earlier.
No, it's not. It's not Brown or Tatum.
No.
They were having a conversation.
That's Kenny
I
Atkinson.
knew who you were talking about.
That's Kenny Atkinson who said that. Yes.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins blew a 2-0 second period lead. They lost in overtime in New Jersey 4-3. Paul Cotter, the game winner for the Devils with just over 6 seconds left in OT. Bruins are in Montreal tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics got 41 points from Jaylen Brown. They beat Phoenix at TD Garden last night, 120-112. They host Golden State tomorrow night. Patriots free agent linebacker Jack Gibbons has signed a contract with Arizona. Kansas City has acquired quarterback Justin Fields from the New York Jets. Venezuela beat Italy last night 4-2 in the semifinals of the World Baseball Classic. They'll play the U.S. in the final tonight. And the Red Sox rained out of their preseason game in Sarasota, Florida last night against Baltimore. They'll play Atlanta in Fort Myers today. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Savor every moment of the game and turn this baseball season into your own private island. Limes in. Play ball. Must be 21. Relax responsibly. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
I-K-Y-K, which obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Suns, who was that player that you were talking about before, Fred, the top 5 player in the NBA?
Derek White.
Derek White.
Who's never been an all-star, but is one of the top 5 players in the NBA.
Indeed. Derek White out there last night along with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. For the other side, for the Phoenix Suns, one Devin Booker was out there last night, and oh boy, he had a night.
And now Kata comes out. Booker pulls up at 19. Tough shot in traffic is good. Suns shooting 47% here in the first half. Trail 53-50.
All right, but Jaylen Brown would have more than a few things to say about that.
Jaylen Brown deep on the right side. Couple of dribbles in, little pump fake on Fleming, goes off the window and in, scoring the foul, just too strong. And as Jaylen Brown says to Fleming, too little.
Too little on him, man. Younger player going at him. Brown gets him up in there, little pump fake.
Jaylen Brown would end up with 41 points on the night, eclipsing Devin Booker's 40-point night. Don't forget about Jason Tatum, though, who not only is out there playing this time 32 minutes.
Oh, bumping it up a little
in the game, but making moves.
Booker stripped from behind by Jaylen Brown. 3-on-1. Jaylen, hand to Tatum, steps through on Goodwin and scores with left hand off the window. Celtics within 1, and Jaylen Brown is having another monster night and a monster season for number 7.
MVP.
So Jason Tatum is driving the lane. He's making layups. He's getting steals. And once again, it was Jaylen Brown who kind of put the finishing touches on this last night.
Or Jaylen Brown, straight away. Gets a high screen from Sam Hauser. Pressured by Highsmith. Rolls his way into him to the mid-block. Steps through. Shot is up in the air, and it bounces in. 41 for Jaylen Brown.
That dude, unreal.
Jaylen Brown, all the complaining he does about not getting calls from the refs.
You got him last
Wipe those all out last night. 21 free throws last night for Jaylen Brown.
NBA action. Catch it.
He'd drive the lane and get calls. Last night was a makeup for all those games he was complaining. He didn't get any calls.
Awesome. How many of those were reviewed? That's what I really like. Thank God for the review.
Yeah.
Thank God for the review in college basketball, too, so they can see if you accidentally hit someone in the face, if it was powerful enough where there's still a tech. You know, intent in college basketball does not. When you watch the tournament, if you haven't been watching college basketball, here's a heads up for you to when to turn the channel. If it doesn't matter if there's intent for a flagrant foul, it's just the amount of impact of the foul. So, like, say you're going for a rebound and you like go to grab the ball and your elbow hits someone in the face, and they know it, you didn't do it on purpose. No matter. They still will review it, and it can still be a technical.
So this is the part of the tournament as we get into the first games are tonight, right, John?
Yep, first 4 tonight.
This is the part of it that I cannot stand. Is if it's a game you're invested in and you're watching, fine, no problem. If you're just waiting for something else to come on, if the game is within 6 points, the last 2 minutes will take 15 minutes to play in all of these tournament games. It's insufferable, the amount of time it takes between the timeouts and the reviews and then the commercials and then everything else. It'll just, and you know, the short timeouts are not short. They're not really keeping track.
No,
of how
once you
long
get national TV involved, 30-second timeouts are a minute and a half.
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, I mean, I can't recall a time where a 30-second. I always thought that was funny. Like, they're calling a 30-second timeout, and it's like, well, okay.
No, it's funny. It's when you're at yes, exactly. You do that, and then you go to commercial.
You touch your shoulders, and then you're like, well, that was 4 minutes of commercial.
No, it's funny because when you're at an NBA game and a guy calls a 30-second timeout, usually you have a clock that'll count backwards.
Yeah.
You see a minute 30 immediately go up on the clock. I'm like, wait a second.
Right.
You call it 30.
That's during a regular season game. In the playoffs, with all the commercials and all the ad time, it gets longer. So 30 seconds is really 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's much different. Yes.
And it's not just random bitching. I mean, John loves the NBA more than anyone, and it's not fun. It's bad.
No, it makes for a bad product. I mean, you're watching a show. You know, you would like to be entertained. I know there's something on the line for these guys, and they're trying to win. But for our side of it, it's just you're just watching a show, and the show gets really bad at the end when you have to constantly take breaks. And with the NCAA tournament, I mean, it compounds.
Well, at least those games are short, so. It's the NBA is a little bit more of a. I find the college game to be much more entertaining.
Not the last 2 minutes.
It depends.
If it's a game you're invested in, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
But if you're just waiting for it to get over, you want to get to the next one, or you're waiting for coverage to switch over, and not that big of a deal. You can pretty much find the start of any game now. It's on so many channels, but. If you just want the result sometimes, too, I just want to know if I'm going to win this thing.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's going to take a while for these last 2 minutes.
Yeah, these first 4 games fall into that category.
My only problem is something that they can, because you can't change fouling and stuff like that. My only issue is something that they can change, which is the video review of everything. The video review, and they, I mean, really pour over every angle. And this isn't. These aren't big calls necessarily. This is who did it go out of bounds on in the third quarter. It's really a meaningless possession, pretty much.
So, but again, how do you fix that?
By not allowing replay
at all.
I didn't mind when there wasn't replay in basketball. I don't think it's any sport where there's 120 points by one team. I don't know how important replay is. The argument for football is that points are at a premium. The argument for baseball is runs are at a premium. When you're going up and down the scoring, putting the ball in the hoop 60 times per team, I could make an argument that this possession isn't the end of the world. If you had review in the last 2 minutes, fine. But I told you, John, I watched the game and I went, this is exciting. There's a fight. It was a Pistons game against it wasn't the Charlotte game. It was Pistons against someone. And I went, ooh, a fight. And then they reviewed something, and then the coach of the other team said, I want this reviewed for another reason. So they went from legitimately a 5-minute review into another 5-minute review. The announcers were talking about there was like 12 or 13 minutes of no basketball being played.
Right. That is an extreme case. I understand.
No, that's an extreme case, but it's allowed. And so, so look, there was something last night. Did it go off Jaylen Brown's hand? And I believe it was the third quarter. And they're reviewing it, and you're just okay. And they kept the call on the floor.
Right.
And you're saying, what the hell's the point of this? It's one possession.
But here's the problem. I mean, for instance, if you're playing a game in March where the tiebreaker matters with the opponent and your player, might pick up a 4th foul early in the third quarter, is it a block or is it a charge? That's something you would review because even though it's a regular season game, it matters to you. Yeah. So how do you separate that from the other stuff?
The chances of my star player in the NBA having 4 fouls in the third quarter is fairly slim. Because you're not allowed to. That's what we've been told. Brown wants this.
Yeah.
Like you're not. You're like the people want to see the stars play.
I can't watch the reviews of the who did it go off of under the basket. To me that's the most maddening one. I'm like, oh, just pick one. Just pick one and let's get on with it. You can watch this 100 times,
sure,
and you'll see it 100 different ways.
It's inconclusive, and slowing it down frame by frame doesn't matter. But the reason I bring that up was Derek White, and although this game didn't matter necessarily, Derek White had 4 fouls early in the third quarter last night.
And he's a top 5 player.
And he's a top 5 player in the league.
Top student.
Anyway, it's hard to differentiate those kinds of calls and say, well, we should eliminate replay altogether.
John, if they would have lost this game last night, White fouls out and they lost the game. Let's be honest.
No, it doesn't matter
what's on
that
the line.
much. No, it's theoretically second place in the East, but ultimately, no. This one game on a scale of importance of 82 isn't in the top 30 or 40.
You could make a bigger argument it's first place in the East because what the hell's the difference between being second or third in the East?
There isn't.
Like, seriously, what's the difference?
There isn't.
There's really not a difference.
Really. Not really, no.
There isn't that one more home game if it goes 7
discrepancy
games?
for either side in a series like that. That's true.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, so
But you understand my point.
No, I do.
The NBA, it had good intentions, but like so many other things do, other uses have been figured out for it, and that slows the game down to a crawl at times. Yes.
Yeah, and it's not even about the length of the game. It's just about huge pauses in the game. In the playoffs, it won't. In the playoffs, it's a different story.
It inhibits the flow of the game, and it changes the way the game is played. And yes, for me, consumed, and it makes it worse. It absolutely makes it worse. Sometimes getting the call right makes the game worse.
Last 2 minutes of the game, there's something on the line. You're more apt to want the call to be right. And then in the playoffs, there's obviously more on the line. You're more apt to want the call to be right. These are the things, random game out of 82. There's really very little on the line. I would rather have a flow of a game. I understand the playoffs. I understand everything battening down in the playoffs.
The other part of this is, real quick, we're all, I was talking to Hardy about this earlier, we're all kind of idling now waiting for the playoffs. We're at the end of the season. We just want to get there.
Right.
So I understand.
Yeah, 15 games left, I think. So a lot of games left. Too many, if you ask me. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Mixed results from the local teams last night. The Bruins were beaten in New Jersey 4-3 in overtime. Paul Cotter's second goal of the game for the Devils came with 6.2 seconds left in extra time, and it won the game for the home team, and that was after they were down 2-0 in the second period. David Pastrnak scored twice for the Bruins. They're in Montreal tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics got 41 points from Jaylen Brown. They outscored Phoenix 120-112 at TD Garden. Brown scored 18 points in the fourth quarter alone.
Honestly, it's my first opportunity in my career where I've been able to do this for an extended period of time. And obviously, regardless, people are going to have their critiques and their criticism, but it's a completely different flow when people play off of you or when you play off of others. It's two completely different things.
The Green are now 2-0 on a 3-game homestand. They host Golden State tomorrow night. The first four of the NCAA men's basketball tournament begins tonight in scenic Dayton, Ohio. 16 seeds UMBC and Howard go first. That'll be followed by 11 seeds Texas and NC State. Patriots free agent linebacker Jack Gibbons signed a contract with Arizona yesterday. At the World Baseball Classic, Venezuela beat Italy 4-2 in the semifinals. It'll be the U.S. against Venezuela in the finals tonight. And the Red Sox rained out against Baltimore and Florida last night. Sonny Gray faces Atlanta in Fort Myers today. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing. Never ever replace your roof again. It's East Coast Metal Roofing's Spring into Savings event where Sports Hub listeners get 10% off their new roof that's guaranteed to last a lifetime. Call 844-611-ECMR or eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
You actually coaching the game, or it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Hub.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports.
And their best scorer, Aiden Holloway, was busted. Here is the story from the Alabama News.
You're watching North Alabama's news leader. We start with breaking news.
Yeah, so usually that is some inbreeding accident, but now I'll let you know how it's going when I'm in Hoover. This summer. When I'm chilling in Hoover, Alabama, I'll let you know how it goes.
Welcome into News 19 at 6. We start with that breaking news that we learned in just the last half hour. Alabama standout basketball player Aiden Holloway is no longer with the team, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel.
All right, so you're wondering, what did he do? He's no longer with the team. It's got to be something very serious.
University officials say that Holloway has been removed from campus after being arrested on those drug charges from Monday this morning.
Okay, so drug charges. This is exciting. What did he do?
He's got a few kilos of coke strapped to his body.
Yeah, we're in a fentanyl crisis. This is very serious. Was he somehow distributing fentanyl around campus? That could kill people. Again, you can't do any street drugs safely now because they're oftentimes, for some reason, laced with fentanyl, which it could kill you.
Tuscaloosa police say that they recovered a pound of marijuana.
Huh? What?
Mm-hmm.
Tuscaloosa police? With your tax money?
Tuscaloosa police say that they recovered a pound of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and cash from a home in the 400 block of 30th Avenue East in Tuscaloosa. Holloway was taken to the county jail there and has since been released on a $5,000 bond.
Oh, that sounds very serious.
His charges are felonies. That's a big blow to the Tide right now, who are set to take on Hofstra in the first round of the NCAA tournament, March Madness, on Friday.
Okay, I heard this story, and I went, what the hell is going on? Okay, so NIL money. We talked to Jeff Goodman yesterday. He said starters are making $1 million, like starters for big schools. Alabama's an SEC school. Say he's their best player. Say he's making, let's low end it, $1 million. You can't see that kid buying a pound of marijuana for personal use.
How much does a pound of marijuana cost? Can't be much.
I have no idea now. But look, weed's not legal in Alabama, obviously, because they want you to have 7,000 guns but not have any pot in your house. Look, I wish I liked pot. I don't. It makes me just paranoid. I can't enjoy it. But I know in high school, my friend's brother's friends, which I can get a little bit more removed, but they were good friends. They bought a pound. I saw it. A brick. You know how I saw it? They were never seen two people prouder of themselves in their entire lives than these kids that they were seniors in high school and they obtained a pound of marijuana. They had a brick of it. And the idea was that they were going to sell half of it and break even. But what they ended up doing was they became so enthralled with having so much weed on hand that they smoked it all themselves. They smoked a pound. Now, it took a while, but they did it. In fact, I remember their names. One of them had a bumper sticker on their car that said, "Up with the skirts, down with the panties." And they were rolling. They would sit there and pre-roll joints and then put them in cigarette packages and go, "Hey, look, man, look." And then they would open up the cigarettes and there would be like 20 joints in there, and they were very excited about it. They smoked weed constantly. So you're telling me a kid is making $1 million a year. He's in college. He's a dopey college kid, and that he has a chance to buy a pound of weed for personal use, and he doesn't do it? Then I don't have to buy weed ever again. I bet you he pays a friend to roll his joints. I mean, $1 million when your housing's paid for and you don't have to worry about anything. What the hell is the felony charges for a pound of weed? Who cares? Who cares? Why is that a felony?
Well,
what's going on? Why do they want to pay for all of this?
It's not just the Tuscaloosa police, you understand, Fred. It is the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force. We got a task force here in West Alabama. What's it for? Narcotics!
Yep. Yeah, this kid's going to play a lot of video games. Watch out. I mean, he's going to be pretty much glued to the couch.
We got this boy on failure to affix a tax stamp. That's a felony. Drug possession, that's a felony. He's looking at 10 years in jail or a $15,000 fine.
So they're upset.
Tax stamp.
They're upset that there's no taxes on the weed, that they're not getting any tax income. I can't imagine weed's illegal in Alabama.
Brought it across state lines, that's bootlegging.
Oh, that's right.
Got a broad in the car, that's kidnapping. I don't think he's got a permission. That's the Mann Act.
I'm in high-speed pursuit here.
I'm in a high-speed pursuit.
Well, I tried to tell him to get someone to run interference for him. I kept telling him, I'm like, if you can get a guy in a Trans Am to...
Need a blocker.
Wanted for assault on 30 fellow officers. How's that for hijinks?
I knew when he got the sheriff's son's, the woman he was marrying, I knew when he stole her there was going to be problems.
Oh, when he took Frog away from Junior. I mean, she was walking down the aisle. No, she was dancing down the aisle. Her ass was wiggling too.
That was improv line, you know that.
Really?
Oh yeah. Jackie Gleason, master.
Yeah, you got to figure Gleason was pretty drunk.
Yeah.
You got to figure Jackie Gleason was very drunk during the filming of that film.
So I just reached out to my buddy again, who I talked to about this before. I said, why? And he told me, he was telling me about, like, drug charges and cases he's working on. I'm like, oh, what is it, fentanyl? I mean, that's the scary stuff. That's really bad. Or is it coke? Is it, is heroin? He said, no, it's mostly marijuana. I said, why? What? Now, in Alabama, it's illegal, even recreationally. Medical marijuana, legal in Alabama, but that's it. But here in Massachusetts, even, most of their drug violence is still, or a lot of it is still around the marijuana trade. And I don't understand why there's such this black market for it, or this underground trade going on for something that is almost
readily available,
almost entirely legal now.
Yeah, that's very surprising to me. If your friend's a cop and they say it's true, obviously they would know. It just seems like such a misappropriation of resources that if you have an opiate epidemic that's going on, and people are accidentally dying from fentanyl overdoses I know people whose kids have died
But I
of
don't
fentanyl overdoses by accident.
Oh, I don't think they care. I don't think they care. They only have to get involved when there's violence.
No.
And there's, criminality going on attached to it.
I say misappropriation of resources. I understand what you're saying. This is more the Alabama thing. I'm not saying your friend.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Alabama thing is that you're in the midst of a very real opiate crisis where I'm sure a lot of people listening know someone at least 3 layers removed that have died of a fentanyl overdose. I have to think so.
Yeah.
Because, I certainly do. I know of a legal secretary that never did drugs, was at a club, decided to do a line in the bathroom of what she assumed was cocaine, and died there on the spot because it was fentanyl. So it's a very serious problem. But, when I heard that this kid had a pound of weed, and now, whatever, okay, you can't play in the basketball game. I suppose if you got a DUI or something, you couldn't play in the basketball game too. But felony charges, you could convince me if I'm on that jury fairly easily that a kid that was making $1 million a year that loved to smoke weed had bought a pound for personal use, because why not? Because I know 2 kids in the early 90s that bought a pound of weed. And they were just 2 18-year-old jackasses. And they had a pound of weed running around. Phil Stewart was named one of them. Up with the skirts, down with the panties. That was on the back of his car.
Hell yeah.
Girls liked it.
Was he driving?
Oh, really?
He was like a ski kid. He was super into skiing.
Oh, a ski bum.
He was very Hot Dog the movie was very influential to him. He just liked to smoke weed and ski. Rich kid. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't my friend. I liked him, but you've never seen 2 bigger stoners in your entire life. Real stoners. High, almost 24/7. Wake and bake, real high. On the way to school, get high.
I knew guys like that.
You wouldn't be doing that in West Alabama. This is the rain! Everybody freeze! Everybody down on the ground!
If I was in Alabama, I'd be so pissed off. First of all, why can't this kid play in the game? I like Alabama. I let him play in the game. And second of all, I just saw this thing where this old lady, she's my age. She was like 52 years old. You should see. It's this thing on YouTube, and they're showing this woman getting out of jail. It was about people who were getting out of jail after long-term sentences. And they show her and they go like, Katie McGillicuddy is 51 years old. Doctors say people age much more rapidly in prison because she looks like she's 80. So she gets out of prison. They say in order to incarcerate her for like 30 years, she was in jail for 30 years. It was something like $3.5 million to incarcerate her. That was the cost of her incarceration to the state. Was $3.5 million. Now, it's a for-profit business, and I don't want to get into it, but there's a reason. People make money off of this, but we're paying for it. 10 years? It's a 15-year sentence. What did they get a kid? 10 years for a pound of weed? Get out of here.
Well, just
nonsense.
Play it out. What if that pound of marijuana made its way out onto the streets? What's going to happen? Nothing.
Yeah.
People are going to smoke it, and they're going to enjoy it, and that's going to be that. Oh, no, people are going to die. What, from the marijuana? Oh, no, not at all.
I just don't think that it's going to be with intent to distribute, and I just don't. And he had cash laying around. Yeah, this isn't 1982. If he had cash laying around, I know why he has cash laying around, because you gave a kid $1 million, $2 million maybe. The kid could be making $3 million. I don't know how much money he's making. He had cash and a pound of weed. That sounds like a kid with $1 million. It's like if you gave a 10-year-old $1 million, they would have, a Slurpee machine and a big kick-ass water park in their backyard.
Yeah.
They'd have a big video game screen. It just goes with the territory.
And look, not totally dismissing the whole thing. It's extraordinarily dumb of Holloway.
I don't know. I don't know. It's $1 million, and you go to go buy weed.
You're in a different tax bracket. That doesn't cost him relatively much at all.
No, and you're like, I don't want to just sit here and have to keep buying weed, so I'll just buy a pound.
But he knows where he is, and he knows what happens if he gets caught with it.
You know what?
18 years old. Or
That's
whatever.
the thing. When you're that age, I don't think you factor that in. You've given a 19-year-old kid $1 million, and he's really good at basketball, and he thinks he's going to go pro, and he thinks he's bulletproof. I can see where you might make that mistake.
It also is easy to justify in your brain that you're not doing anything wrong because you just like smoking weed. And out of all the things in the world that you could be doing that are wrong, that's not one of them. And who knows where he grew up and what he's seen? I mean, this could easily be looked upon as nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like if I was the cops, I don't even know if I'd arrest the kid. Found a weed. Now, if I found a bunch of, they don't care about guns. But if I found a bunch of guns and then a bunch of cash and guns, and I was like, all right, there's something going on there, the weed would be the least of my concerns. But I thought that some big drug bust with murdering and all this stuff, a pound of weed, who cares? Ay, ay, ay. Ridiculous, Alabama. He's 21 years old.
Would be nice to go back to the days. There was a story in East Lansing of Bubba Smith being arrested, I think the night before Notre Dame game. I think Michigan State was playing Notre Dame in
I don't
East
think
Lansing.
that mattered very much.
And
bet your ass he was on the field the next day.
Oh, yeah. Whoever it was, Duffy Doherty or whoever the coach was at the time, went into the East Lansing police station and said, I understand, Bubba's in there. It's a problem. You want a problem? Everyone in this town storming this police station tomorrow morning when he's not available to take the field. And you're going to have a full-blown riot on your hands.
Yeah.
You better let him out. We'll take care of this later. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good.
Things a little
Let him
different.
out.
Things a little different.
All right, so I'm looking at this thing that is an estimate of NIL money for kids. Now, a lot of these are under lock and key. But DeBonsa, $4.2 million. JT Toppin, Texas Tech, $2.8 million. Cameron Boozer, $2.2 million. Then there's a bunch of kids I've never heard of. Caleb Wilson from North Carolina, who is going to go high in the draft, $1.9 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jeremy Fears-Hardy is fairly high on this list. He's number 30, but they don't say how much. So anyway, you figure the kid's making $1 million, right? You got to figure. That's what you figure. And I question why. And say it's not going to happen, but say they put him in jail for 15 years. So then it costs $1 million to incarcerate the kid for that long.
This sounds like somebody needs to get reelected. It's a task force that this person's baby, and they have to show that it has teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It sounds like someone's up for reelection.
It would seem to me that would be bad because you took. Well, I guess they don't care about basketball.
No, you know what? We cracked on all lawbreakers. Doesn't matter who they are in this community. No one's above the law. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I mean that's the more you give facts, the more that's what it sounds like. Because in the grand scheme of things, there are other things that you should be going after instead of weed. So they're making an example out of this kid, or going to try to anyway, on the eve of the NCAA tournament. Sounds like some guy wants to make sure he puts his foot down and gets noticed.
By the way, Duke is just diarrheaing NIL money all over the place. Like, oh my goodness gracious. The amount of NIL money apparently they're handing out. It's like 10 of the top 100 kids are Duke kids.
They gave Shire a real big budget after Coach K left.
Hachi Machi. They better win.
Yeah. Just real quick, you know the school that spent the most money in NIL in college basketball?
No.
Indiana. Didn't make the tournament.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yep.
Well, you got to fire that coach.
Yep. Quickly.
By the way, I just found the story. Bubba was pulled over the night before the Notre Dame game, for a driving infraction, and then they put him under arrest because he had 300 parking tickets, 300 unpaid parking tickets. They said, "Follow me to the police station." Bubba said, "You don't know who I am?" He said, "I know exactly who you are." So he did.
What year was he? This matters to me. What year was he when he got arrested?
That's got to be 62.
Was he a junior? Because that's literally like 2 parking tickets a week for your entire college career.
The big black market.
1966.
The big black market at Michigan State, and Hardy might know about this, was handicap stickers. Like all my friends had handicap stickers. I'm like, you're all going to hell. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with our friend Tim Healy to talk about the Red Sox.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, it felt unbelievable. Just this atmosphere from pitch one before the game, BP, it's just unbelievable. You couldn't ask for any more this early in the year, and to go out and to make a good swing like that and kind of just feed off the runner.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Tim Healy writes about the Red Sox for the Boston Globe. He's kind enough to join us from Fort Myers. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
I'm heading down to spring training on Friday, and then, but I'm going to the East Coast, and I found they're not playing games on the East Coast Monday or Tuesday, so it all ends on Sunday. That's it for them.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Are you sad?
On my part.
Are you sad?
Well, they still have games Monday and Tuesday.
I'm sure Tim's all broken
It's
up.
still coming to an end, Tim, and I want to know if you're sad.
Oh, no, I'll go home.
You don't like it down there?
No, it's nice, and my job is awesome, of course. But at this point of spring training, I think about everybody is ready for the real thing and games that count. So I'm glad that that's coming next week.
Is everyone very excited about Roman Anthony and the very patriotic, very important World Baseball Classic?
It seems that way. I am. I think the WBC is awesome generally and has been thoroughly entertaining this time around. So, I'll be looking forward to getting my work done today so that I'm in position to watch tonight on my couch and not in Miami. Yeah, the WBC is basically the Red Sox Invitational this time around. There's 5 guys in it tonight.
Yeah, the big hero last night is a Red Sox, as a matter of fact, right?
2 nights ago.
Yeah.
2 nights ago, yeah. So,
yeah, Roman Anthony, game-winning home run.
No.
In the final.
No, not just Roman Anthony.
Oh, I thought that's who
last
you were talking
night,
about.
not 2 nights ago. Last night.
Well, America wasn't playing last night. I don't care about that game.
That Abreu hit the 3-run home run the game before last night.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
In the quarterfinals for Venezuela. But nonetheless,
right.
Venezuela and Abreu in the final as well.
All right. I don't pay attention if it's not the United States.
Yeah.
But all in all, Tim, I mean, there are a lot of things to
I want the United States to win so those guys can all pretend it's the same as the Olympics. They've been building themselves up. They're the most annoying collection of people I've ever seen in my entire life. They've been building this up as if they're building it up. They don't even know what's going on and what's required to win their bracket. But yet they're pounding it up like they're somehow political heroes for this World Baseball Classic. I don't care for them, Tim Healy. I got to tell you that.
I can tell.
But all
I'm
in
hoping
all,
they lose, to be honest with you. Go Venezuela.
All in all, though, I mean, you look at Roman Anthony coming up in a big situation, Garrett Whitlock pitching the 8th inning, going right through the middle of that Dominican order. I think Weissert had a couple of saves for Italy. I mean, if you're looking for positive signs as far as the Red Sox go, this tournament seems to be it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can keep running down the list. Yoshida, who has done close to nothing for the Red Sox for a couple of years, had a great WBC for Japan. Jaron Duran was hitting home runs off Lampstead and pitchers for Mexico. Weissert, you mentioned, he's having a moment, which is kind of incredible for Italy. I guess the moment's over now since Italy is done. Abreu's home run to win the game. Rowan Anthony's home run to win the game. Ranger Suarez didn't pitch so hot, but so it goes. It's been quite the showcase of sorts for the Red Sox and their outfielders in particular.
How much does all of this involvement throw off Alex Cora? I mean, he's got players or had players everywhere, and now they're all kind of filtering back in. Does that matter at this time of year or not?
Mostly not. Alex Cora, more than most team-side baseball people, is very pro-WBC, and that goes back to his connections to Puerto Rico and their WBC squads through the years. He was always heavily involved. So when a Red Sox player wants to play, Alex Cora vigorously gives them the thumbs up. That said, the Red Sox were missing a bunch of guys for the last couple of weeks. And now, as you said, they're starting to filter in. And Cora has referenced needing to use maybe Friday, maybe Saturday as a dress rehearsal of sorts, right? Get all those last guys back into camp. Crochet's pitching Saturday, his last spring training start. maybe get them all in the lineup together. So there's not a whole lot lost while they've been out, but the Red Sox nonetheless will be happy to have them back.
What was it like when so many players were gone? What were you able to glean that maybe you wouldn't have if everyone was there?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Thank you. I put you on the spot. We talked to you before the World Baseball Classic, and you were like, things are going to look a lot different around here.
Oh, yeah.
I'll help you, because that was unfair of me. So I should have been more specific. I left it way open. That is my fault, Tim Haley. All right, so you were saying, I'll help you. You were saying before the World Baseball Classic, this is going to be an opportunity for some guys now that they're gone. Was it an opportunity for certain players, and how did they show up?
It was an opportunity for certain players, not necessarily brand name players. Christian Campbell played a ton. I'm not sure that he sees that opportunity. He's looked a little iffy in the outfield to my untrained eye. The guy who most took advantage of all of the at-bats that were available was a guy named Brady Ward, who entered camp with no shot to make the roster, is ending camp with no shot to make the roster, but nonetheless has made quite the impression on Alex Cora and company with all his stolen bases, and said that he wants to be the next Dave Roberts. So come September, October, if the Red Sox are in position to carry a pinch hitter type, remember the name Brady Ward. He's stolen more bases in spring training than anybody in the 20 years that MLB has tracked such stats. So he's a little firecracker, a little spark plug who's going to be in with the Worcester Red Sox to open the year, but you never know.
I was reading about this guy, Fred. This guy's a throwback. This guy had like 55 stolen bases in 88 games in the minors last year. He's in a day and age where everyone's waiting for a 3-run home run. This guy is a leadoff hitter that can steal second immediately. And, he could be a big help down the stretch if need be.
Definitely. And he is really good at bunting, which is a lost art these days. If he gets it on the ground, he's going to be safe at first. So, as you said, a throwback. And
Whitey ball. You get this kid in
Herzog,
running Redbirds, baby. Let's get it going.
Yeah, he's been he's fun to watch. I'll just put it that way. He is fun to watch on the field.
All right, we had discussed what the pitching rotation was going to look like. We're getting to the period of time where decisions have to be made. Obviously, Crochet's your number one, and I think Sonny Gray goes today. But you have Ranger Suarez there. How do you think they'll line up 1 through 5?
They are planning for Sonny Gray to start the second game, which will be...
Whoa. Slow down.
I did that specifically for you, Fred.
Oh,
he's not
Hardy.
He's not really a number 2, though, is he, Tim?
Well,
that was the argument earlier, Tim.
No, that wasn't even the argument. There was no argument from my end. It was Hardy saying that I overhype the players that I'm familiar with.
Right.
When I said Sonny Gray, I thought that the trade for Sonny Gray was a good trade. I didn't say. All I said is he's going to be at the time. And it ends up being true. I said he'd be the second starter, and then Hardy went into this big thing about how he's not the second, he's not number 2, he's not number 2, he's not second in the rotation.
Well,
and here we are, Sonny Gray's the second in the rotation.
Well, let's hear what Tim has to say. So he'll end up going second, but I felt there was a but coming.
There's a difference at this time of year between the second best starter on the team and the guy who happens to start the second game of the season.
So, but Sonny Gray's going to go in game 2, and then how do you think the rest of it shakes out?
The next 2 days probably will be Ranger Suarez and Brian Bayo in some order. They haven't settled that yet. Suarez is about to come back from the WBC tomorrow, I guess, after the title game tonight. And then 5th spot is up in the air, and they haven't said yet, but Johan Oviedo is still tracking to earn that.
Oh, all right.
So are they going left, right, left? Is that why Sonny Gray is starting the second game?
A little bit, yes. And then when you look at the third game and you have Suarez and Bayo, it's like, all right, which guy would you rather have face the Reds? Would you rather face the Astros on Monday? So there's some there is some hairs to split there in that decision. So I'll let the Red Sox split those hairs and just wait for them to decide,
But the good news is, and the end result is, you find yourself in another situation like you did last year. After Crochet, you're not throwing Brian Bayo up there second against the Yankees.
Yep.
You've got a decision to make. It could be Sonny Gray. It could be Ranger Suarez. You're not going to have to just take what's left.
Yep. Big improvement over the spring training depth at the end of last year and certainly at the beginning of last year. So I'm not sure what the Red Sox are going to be this year, but their rotation looks a lot better.
All right.
Indeed. All right, Tim Healy. Boston is clamoring for your return. As you've been down there in Fort Myers. We'll be but a 2-hour drive from each other come Friday. But alas, I will not be making my way to Fort Myers. But Tim Healy, read him in the Boston Globe. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there you go. Tim Healy, Sonny Gray.
Second starter.
Yeah.
There he is.
He's your number 2.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's starting day 2.
Which by definition is what?
Just the guy who gets the ball on day 2. Ranger Suarez is busy in the WBC.
And they pitch every 5 days. So it seems like that would track at least for a while.
We'll see. Yeah.
I know.
I know.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lost in New Jersey to the Devils 4-3 in overtime. David Pastrnak 2 goals, but the Bruins kicked away a 2-0 second period lead. They're back at it tonight in Montreal. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7. Here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics got 41 points from Jaylen Brown. They beat Phoenix at TD Garden 120-112. Devin Booker 40 points for the visitors. The Greens host Golden State tomorrow night. Patriots linebacker Jack Gibbons is signed with the Arizona Cardinals. At the World Baseball Classic, Venezuela advanced to the final. They beat Italy last night 4-2. They'll play the U.S. in the final tonight in Miami, and the Red Sox rained out of their exhibition game in Sarasota against Baltimore last night. Sonny Gray pitches today in Fort Myers against Atlanta. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured, not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Mel Kiper has his new mock draft out. He has the Patriots taking Casey Concepcion, a wide receiver from Texas A&M.
Kick returner. Very, very speedy.
Well, they got a kick returner.
Yep, they do.
So,
I mean, he's not a deep ball threat, but he gets open down the field very quick.
Well, that's about the one of the few picks that maybe he gets right, because this draft is all topsy-turvy.
Yeah, it says Concepcion averages over 15 yards a catch. So
other
stretch
than
the field.
Other than Mendoza going first, he might not hit a pick until maybe 7.
Yeah, he has Jeremiah Love going 4.
Like the Titans can go ahead and take a running back at 4.
I know. It's I
imagine Saleh first year taking a running back at 4.
Here's the thing. And
I know everyone loves Jeremiah Love, and they think that he's going to be the next kid from Atlanta, but
you can't take a devalued position 4th, regardless of how good this kid is.
Unless you somehow made a trade, like you're a really good team that made a trade, and you ended up with the 4th pick in the draft. And in this draft, there's not a lot of incentive to trade up because there's no quarterbacks. So, and you're sitting at 4, maybe you take a running back because you believe he's the best player, and some people believe that he's the best player in the draft. But if you're Tennessee and the cupboard's bare, how are you going to justify taking a running back at 4?
Here's the thing. We're in and I said this to you off the air. We're 4 or 5 weeks out from the draft now, and everyone's put out at least 2 or 3 mock drafts. There are, for a variety of websites, CBS Sports and even Mel Kiper, everyone's contractually obligated to put out 1 of these a week or 2 of these a week. And now we're in the silly season where, okay, I've already done 4 or 5 of these. I don't want to put out the same thing I did, so let's change things around a little bit. This isn't what he actually thinks. It's different than all of his other ones.
How am I going to get some eyeballs?
Exactly.
How am I going to get people to pay attention to this?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind it. I like mock drafts.
No, they are good, but I mean, you wind up with something like this.
This one.
This is your Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely. It should be yours too.
No. That ain't me no more. I'm a playoff team, conference championship team.
Not last year.
Hey.
All right. So Jordan is back. She was in one of her loser adult cheerleading competitions for nerds, and she put up pictures of it like she's proud of it. There's 2 ways to go if you're a cheerleader: to be very thin or hugely fat. If you are fat, you are one of the people that holds the people up.
You're on the bottom. Yes.
Yeah. But so it's for everyone. It's truly a democracy. There is room for everyone in adult cheerleading. And she puts hashtag gold digger got hashtag paid. Hashtag I dig gold medals. Hashtag grandiose champs. Hashtag trouble Cub strikes again. Congratulations. You did something no one else wants to do and won. But wouldn't it be better for her to be a gold digger and have it rationalized in that way instead of being mentally ill and wanting to be with the least charismatic man with the biggest breast that you could possibly be with? You remember Al Capone's tomb?
Oh, yeah.
When they did that on TV?
Yep.
Sure.
I do.
Geraldo Rivera.
I haven't, with this fragmented media landscape that we're at now, there was something that could totally unify the country, and that is Jordan and Bill just, they measured breasts, and they saw who had the bigger breasts, the breast off, and they weighed one of Bill's pendulous bosom, and then they weighed one of Jordan's.
And they brought someone in with some old school calipers, and they could do
size.
I mean, you could put up a whole week. I mean, there could be a vote on how to even aggregate the possibilities of the size. It can't just be bra
right,
size.
and it can't be like the around the chest measurement, because Bill's going to take that in a landslide.
Oh no, he's very barrel chested. Besides his massive bosom, so. Bill, most likely on the bottom during sexual relations, you would have to think it's got to be a lot for him to hold himself up while thrusting. I mean, that requires a lot of core strength.
Well, then maybe they've got some sex furniture.
Like what?
There could be a swing. There could be.
Now, who's in the swing, though? Because then Bill would have
That's a
to
good
stand
question.
for a very long period
Yes,
of
it's a
time.
very good question.
No, he's got one of these high stools. Maybe he's got like a broadcast chair. Then he can just kind of like position himself.
Because what I'm saying is that if he's on top, there's a big flap of bosom at about eye level for Jordan. You would assume, because he's taller than her. So there's just a big floppy areola in her face.
Do you think she just buries her face in between those boobs of his? Num, 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 num.
My point is, it's gross. So at least if there was a
okay.
financial incentive, you could think of, all right, well, there's a financial incentive there.
I think she motorboats him.
I mean, the
She
idea of
gets
being
right in there.
sexually attracted to him is something else. Because the amount of days you would have to go at that age before anything would come out, you got to give yourself a week to refresh, right? Not in terms of getting an erection, but in terms of being able to as a male, to complete. At 74, 75, I mean, you got to figure that's like maybe you're more than a pitcher. Not every 5 days, but every 7 days. But that's a rough seventh day. You got that bosom swinging on top of you, or however you put it together.
So
Hoochie moochie.
Maybe her post using the phrase "gold digger" was a low-level marketing campaign because, as we know, she did attempt to copyright and trademark the term "gold digger."
Right.
And that was thought to be used for jewelry or keychains.
Uh-huh.
This is according to People Magazine. Did some digging in the trademark filing. So she's a very cunning businesswoman.
Right. That's to bang old guys and get money.
She ever sue Pablo Torres? Is that ever Pablo Torres did ever follow through on that?
Pending litigation, John.
Okay.
Yes. Who knows? But nonetheless, it's a whole situation going on there with Jordan.
But congratulations to Code Black. That is the name of her cheerleading team, and they got their national championship.
National championship in adult cheerleading. Those are people that will pay the bus fare to get from competition to competition. That is nothing to brag about. Let's be honest.
Well, they do fundraising. They do bake sales and stuff to help pay for the transportation. They do have to buy their own uniforms. That's part of that's part of what you sign on
Believe
for.
me, my daughter watched Dance Moms. I know exactly how the whole thing goes down. I mean, Abby Lynn Studios. She ran afoul of the law. All right. Well, congratulations to Jordan Hudson. She's leaning into the whole gold digger thing. But the thing is that I'd want people to think I'm a gold digger, because again, I could even see a young woman falling for a senior citizen. He's a senior citizen, falling for a senior citizen that's 50 years, more than 50 years older than him, or maybe 50. And that's if they were like an art dealer or something that was traveling the globe and had homes in the south of France, and like they live this lifestyle, and they're this charismatic, like man of the world. But Bill Belichick's just a prick,
and you're
old fat prick
living in North Carolina.
Yeah,
just summer on Nantucket. I'm from up there. I'm
in Nantucket, where everyone despises you because his ex-lady runs the town. It doesn't seem like a nice life. And then your big outlet is adult cheerleading, which is almost, it seems like a cruel joke to play on someone, to even have the federation. It just seems like a way to monetize mockery, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you had a child that was an adult cheerleader, and then you had to pretend to, like, a child I'm talking about, too. Not
not a love interest.
Not a love interest, a child. A love interest you could dump. The minute they go, can you come to my adult cheerleading thing, you could go, no. But if it's a kid, you're obligated if you want to maintain that relationship, you know, because they're of your seed. But that's something that you have to pretend to be proud of, but deep down you are not proud at all. You're saying it's time to move past this. No, I don't like this. All right, we will be back. It is St. Patrick's Day, so we put something together for St. Patrick's Day that everyone will enjoy very much. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
Which honestly, frankly, really isn't that good.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the Bruins did earn a point last night in New Jersey, but they let another road lead get away. The Bruins watched a 2-0 second period advantage vanish, and it turned into a 4-3 overtime loss to the Devils. As you would imagine, Marco Sturm was a bit frustrated after this one was done.
Yeah, it's frustrating because we played such a good first period, and the way we came out in the second and the way we played in the second, that's just, I don't know, that's for me night and day. And if you play like that, that's what you get.
Paul Cotter scored twice. He won it for the Devils in OT. David Pastrnak, 2 goals for the Bruins. They're back at it tonight in Montreal. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics got 41 points from Jaylen Brown. They beat Phoenix at TD Garden 120-112. They'll host Golden State tomorrow night. Patriots free agent linebacker Jack Gibbons headed elsewhere. He's signed with Arizona. Kansas City has acquired quarterback Justin Fields in cash from the Jets in exchange for a 6th-round draft pick. At the World Baseball Classic, Venezuela beat Italy last night 4-2 in the semifinals. They'll play the U.S. in the final tonight in Miami. And the Red Sox rained out of their preseason game against Baltimore last night. Sonny Gray faces Atlanta at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers today. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Service Credit Union. They're teaming with Charlie McAvoy for 73 reasons to provide funding and health screens for first responders. Learn more at servicecu.org/73. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Break me. We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
Why do people listen to Toucher?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
St. Patrick's Day, the importance of it went away from me when I stopped drinking.
Was it important to you, though?
It was a day, especially when it matched with the NCAA tournament, where you didn't feel guilty about day drinking. Which were very important days.
Yeah.
Because there is a social stigma to drinking during the day on a Tuesday. Like if you were at a bar and sitting at the bar, then one could think that you maybe had a problem with drinking because you were sitting there during daylight hours consuming alcohol. Lunchtime drinks, maybe that's an issue.
Yeah.
But St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, well, they're just being festive. Being social.
You're part of the whole enterprise. You're part of the whole thing. So 617-779-0985. We're going to play a game, and of course we dumped Mike the Leprechaun and Blind Scott, and now Mike the Leprechaun and Blind Scott are the 2 people that are calling in. So if you're anyone but Mike the Leprechaun and Blind Scott, and you would like to play this contest,
which is strange because Mike would be perfect for this game.
Well, we can take Mike the Leprechaun. Fine. He can play. No one else is calling in. All right. This game is called what?
Do you know your local
Stop it, all right?
It is true. Do you know your local leprechauns? What's going to happen is that Hardy is going to play a clip of someone, a local little guy that's from that lives in the area.
Yes.
Of stature.
Yeah.
Not of personality or charisma or intelligence, just of stature.
Well, short stature.
Yeah. All right, Mike the Leprechaun, hello.
Hi, how are you? Top of the morning.
All right, I heard you on Ben Maller. You've been drinking, or were you just saying that to say
No, that was a joke. I won the worst caller of the year yesterday, and they're coming to Boston in May. So
you won the worst caller on the Ben Maller show?
Yes, it was a very prestigious. It's the hardest one to win.
Did that hurt your feelings, or did it make you feel good because you just don't care?
I was so proud. But anyway, regardless, let's play the game.
All right.
Let's get down to it, Fred.
Thank you, Mike the Leprechaun. Let's get down to. Do you understand what the contest is?
I don't have a clue, but you can tell me.
All right, stupid. Pat, hello. Pat.
When you said call in, Freddie T, I'm calling. I'm doing what you need the people to do. And you're Sparty. Hardy, I'm so sick of your Sparty, but let's be nice.
Yeah, he won't shut up about Michigan State. Nothing, no truer words have ever been spoken. All right, I'm a bigger fan of Michigan State basketball than he is. I talk about it more than he does. I could see that being annoying, though. All right, Pat, here's the deal. He's going to play a clip of someone who's very small and lives in the area, and you're going to have to name that local leprechaun. All right, here we go.
Actually, you've got them over there, Fred.
Right, here we go. Here is leprechaun number 1.
Go in order.
John, you and I can play as well.
Okay, all right.
So he is bigger and sturdier on the edge than Chason, so he's going to make you a little more physical. So I think they got a little more powerful and sturdy on the edge, and maybe gave up a little speed and explosiveness there.
All right, of course, Godsmack is playing in the background because Sully Erna from Godsmack might as well be a dwarf. All right, what do we have? Who is that local leprechaun?
That was the legend called Tony Maserati.
Oh,
that's so far away.
No, that is Mike Reese.
Yes, it is.
Very good.
All right, very good.
It hurts me.
Yes, I know, Pat, but that's only the first of our local leprechauns. These are very small people that live in the area.
I like your chances on this next one, though.
All right. Sully Erna from Godsmack is very, very short, but angry.
Yes.
That makes him more than 3 apples high. Here we go.
The swing of the right leg by Borregales. The kick sailing to the uprights. It's good! And the Patriots have the lead with 15 seconds to go.
All right, that's pretty easy. They're very small, and they live around here. And they called a football game.
Patriots game.
That's Zolak's best friend. That's called Mr. Sosi.
Wow.
Okay. Bob Sosi is very, very small. All right.
I'm very proud of myself so far.
All right, Pat.
Despite my hatred of Michigan State.
All right.
Tough one coming up here, but a clue at the end of it.
All right. So, Pat, who is the local leprechaun there? Someone who lives in the area that is very short of stature. All right. Here we go.
I think they're worse off at receiver. I do think the offensive line is going to be better with Vera Tucker and you move Jared Wilson over. So, no, I don't think they're worse off than last year. Don't try to catch me in one of your traps.
A gotcha moment with you, Ben.
Oh. They're very small. They're talking about the Patriots. Their first name might have been said at the end of that.
Listen, he's not a small man, but I got to say the word Barfy.
No, that is my steam room buddy. That's my steam room buddy, Ben Volen. Very small. You would think that guys that cover football would be bigger, but they're not. They're very tiny.
I think I'm 1 for 3. I think I need to ban myself from the station this week.
All right, Pat. Nonetheless, we will continue.
Thank you.
This one, I think, would be Wallach's favorite.
Okay.
Who's impressed you the most this year?
So far, I'd have to say probably Patois. He's a kid who, he's not Patrice Bergeron, but it reminds me of an 18-year-old Patrice Bergeron second-round pick who came in and from the first day of training camp simply said, "You can't cut me."
So that is someone giving hockey analysis, somebody who was on the TV doing lots of hockey over the years. And John, this will be your favorite one.
Oh, I know who it is. He stands on a box, Pat.
Oh, all right. Got it.
He stands on a box. When he used to do Bruins games, he had to stand on a box. And Jaffe's no giant, my friend.
No, as soon as you said that, I clicks in. I know exactly who this is.
Pat, who would be involved in something where they had to stand on a box to be the same height as their co-host, even though Billy Jaffe's not tall? And
sarcastically, I say this one is Wallach's favorite.
Well, just because I know I'm going to go 1 for 4 here, I'm going to say Phil Martelli Jr., and I'm hanging up. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
So far away.
That's my buddy Uncle Dale.
That's Dale Arnold.
By the way, congratulations to Phil Martelli Jr.
Who's Phil Martelli
He
Jr.?
was the head coach at Bryant, went to the tournament last year, the head coach at VCU back in the tournament this year.
Oh, they got lucky. They won that tournament game. Dan, hello.
Hello, sir.
Okay, Dan, do you understand the game?
I do.
All right, here we go. Not often you'll have someone hang up during a game. But this, we managed to pull that off. All right, here we go. Know your local leprechaun. This is a local person who's very, very small.
I mean, why the hell would I not think that Pop Douglas is going to have a great year? Why? Good things have happened when Pop Douglas is near the football or gets the football if they've given him the ball.
All right, it's a little guy again about the Patriots. There is a theme going here. The people that cover the Patriots very little. They love Pop Douglas, who's very little.
I wouldn't say he covers the Patriots, though. He's
is that Sheffer?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh, he's small. Yeah, he just doesn't live around here. Schefter was crazy small. When I saw him at the Super Bowl, because he dresses and has his hair like Gordon Gekko, you assume he's towering over you. But I mean, that guy might be 5'1". John, do you have a guess?
I was going to say Mike Giardi.
I was ruined.
Henry Winkler, also very short, but not local.
That's right. The Jewish Italian.
Sports hub, fill-in host, very angry. Very angry.
Oh, I just know this from the meeting. I'm being told Mark Dondero is very short.
Oh, all right.
Green clovers and blue diamonds.
I've never met him, so I'm unaware of his size.
I wasn't ready for that. I assumed there'd be a spit
I
take.
didn't hear the spit take.
Yeah, spit take.
Okay, there you
Thank
go.
you. Good minds think alike.
All right, here we go. Who is this person?
Hello, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
They're a man of few words, and they're answering the phones. You're never going to get this.
Oh, God. Geez, I just talked to him yesterday. Or no?
No, you didn't.
Oh, who's the guy?
He was out of town
George.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, George. No, that's a good guess. That's beaten. Yeah, he didn't say anything.
Green clovers and blue diamonds.
You little guy.
Ryan
Beaton. Who we missed. We couldn't get into any computers when he was gone.
He's hiding. I got him.
We missed Ryan a great deal. All right, here we go. Dan, the final local leprechaun.
So, I am the people's champion. Shout out to Sarge. NWO for life.
All right, it's the people's champ. Who is that?
Yeah, the strangest man ever, George.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Dan. You win nothing, but there you go. There is the contest, which is...
Stop it, all right?
Yes, know your local leprechaun.
It is interesting that of all the sports, football attracts the smallest man.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like the one where the biggest guys, because basketball, they're tall and can be thin. I mean, football is the ones where they're behemoths of men. It's a very odd dichotomy. It's almost like a water park when you'll see a very slight man with a very heavy woman rubbing her back in line. That's something that next time you're at a free event or any kind of amusement park, like a 4th of July fireworks event, it doesn't matter where, but the more south you go, the more this is going to happen.
Baseball has like all shapes and sizes of nerds. Apologies to Tim Healy. But it's just, nerds come in all.
Well, I mean,
different forms.
Altuve's a little guy. I mean, Pedroi's a little guy. Little guys can be really good at baseball.
But I'm talking about the reporters.
No, I know, but there's not that crazy difference. Yeah, baseball reporters, first of all, have the worst job in the world. Because if you're a beat writer, I mean, this is the way it was told to me. Imagine being in Kansas City on a Tuesday afternoon in July. It's 120 degrees. You got to be at the ballpark for 9 hours. No one's telling you anything. I mean, it's a miserable existence. But now, with advanced stats and everything, it's a very mathematical business. So you get like a Spear in there, the guy from the Globe.
Alex Spear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that wears like the tweed jackets with the patches. I mean, he's like an MIT nerd. His parents, they must have been like, you went to MIT and you're on Nesson? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Harvard or MIT.
I was going to say, it was
Harvard. It's all right.
Yeah, but I mean,
same thing.
They're not happy.
No,
like I paid for you to go to Harvard, and now you're making $35,000 doing Red Sox games. My God. I mean, why aren't you Musk or something? Like, why aren't you running some AI company?
Zuckerberg, you start something.
Yeah, exactly. Like there should be libraries named after you. You're just babbling on about war on Nesson. I have friends who are going through that now. They're like, their kids want to be teachers, which is a very honorable profession, and obviously lots of respect for teachers. But they're saying, like, I have to pay $75,000 so you can go be a teacher. Like, I'm never going to get this money back.
Yeah, teacher. I mean, that's one that you're not necessarily looking for your return on investment, and teachers still get the pensions.
I told them it's a very honorable thing.
Yeah.
And but they're like, I have to justify $75,000 for 4 years plus a master's degree.
Yeah.
Because you need advanced degrees now to be a teacher. And they're like, I'm just never going to see this money. Like, they'll never be able to repay me. There's never going to be a moment where, like, Dad, here's a car. Like here's a Cadillac.
That's right. For all that you've done for me.
Right.
You want to go for a ride? I've ridden in a Cadillac before.
Yeah.
I've ridden in a Cadillac hundreds of times. Thousands of times.
Well, get you fired from the board, that's for sure. You won't be head of the condo association anymore if you get one of those. All right. Hardy's best friend, Mike Dussault, will be joining us as we venture down. Free agency still going on in the NFL. You'll see something on Instagram where there's a big announcement from Adam Schefter, who, of course, is very small. And you'll see it and you'll say, oh, I've never heard of this guy. So-and-so has been signed, and you're like, it's getting down to that point in time where Kyler Murray still hasn't signed with Minnesota, though, has he?
I thought that was official.
Was it official already?
I thought it was.
Okay.
I thought he signed for the minimum like Tua did.
Oh, maybe he did. But anyway, Kuiper has a new draft out now, if you want to look at it. It looks like it's not that great.
Then Justin Fields on his way out.
Well,
headed to Kansas City.
Yeah, you get a 6th-round pick, and you just got to...
Had to pay $7 million on top of Fields to get that 6th-round pick.
It's better than releasing him and paying $10 million. I mean, that was the other option. They found someone to take him. You can't fault them for that. You were killing him on the Slack channel for taking $7 million of the salary. The other... I mean, they had to get him out of that building. He wouldn't play because he didn't want to hurt himself backing up. Tyrod Taylor.
You guys are talking yourselves in circles. Let the expert tell you what happened with that Jets trade.
Today, the New York Jets traded Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 2027 6th-round draft pick. Fields gets to go to a place that he wanted to be, where Patrick Mahomes is recovering from a torn ACL, and the Chiefs needed a backup quarterback as Mahomes gets healthy and returns to the starting lineup.
Yeah, of course.
No one filibusters more than Adam Schefter.
Oh, God.
Like, because he's built to tweet, right?
Yes.
Like, the tweet is the Jets trade Justin Fields to Kansas City for a 6th-round pick. That's the tweet. But then when you have to get on the air, you can't just say...
Patrick Mahomes was injured, which means he is hurt, which means he needs to recover, and he won't be able to play football. And the Kansas City Chiefs are a football team, and they need players that can play football who aren't hurt and recovering and unable to play football.
Why not instead of Schefter saying something and filibustering for 2 minutes, which feels like 20, why don't they just have him on saying, you reported this, what does this mean, and have him answer questions?
Because he doesn't, that's not his job. He's not an analyst. See, that's where the problem lies, is that he's not a writer or an analyst.
He doesn't want to give any opinion.
No, his job is strictly to break news. And so that there's nothing, he can't tell you anything. He can't give you any editorial insight. It's only facts. So again, you can't just go on and go, thank you, that's it. Like, he would be a terrible guest to have on because he offers nothing. The information, he's built to tweet, which again, I don't understand why that's a job. Like, that information, so you get it out first. Who cares? How does that make ESPN any money? Him having a tweet first, how do they monetize that? I don't understand. Like, unless it's on ESPN and that's where the information goes and people are constantly refreshing ESPN, him being on Twitter just makes Twitter money.
Obviously, ESPN's hope is, okay, he tweeted this. Maybe that'll drive the eyeballs to ESPN, which it doesn't. And then they'll tune in to see coverage of that.
You know,
because see him live.
Because at least Shams writes. He'll have a whole article on something. Schefter is really just a tweet. He might as well work for Twitter. All right. Mike Dussault has got all kinds of crazy opinions. He's out there. You should hear him with the moon landing. All right. We'll have him on in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Dusty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
New York Jets, on the other hand.
We were talking about trees that were uprooted in our yards. The two of us. Conversation. I was talking with Hardy. Hardy was talking with me.
Well, Marcy texted me. She goes, big tree uprooted in the backyard last night, which I didn't see this morning because it was dark. And I said, well, where's the picture, woman? So thank you. She just
He didn't believe her.
Sent me a couple of photos. No, I want to know which tree. And it's not that.
Could she describe the tree, or are you in a very wooded area?
It's pretty wooded, but there was one tree in particular that I would have liked to have been uprooted. And as long as it's going away from the house, which it is, thankfully, but it's not the tree I wanted gone.
Did you mark that tree in some way?
Well, I urinate on it every night. Is that what you mean?
That's how you keep the coyotes away. Yeah. They know that there's a human around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mike Dussault knows all about urinating on trees.
Wow.
He's a writer and content producer for Patriots.com. Hello, Mike Dussault.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
If the Patriots stand pat right now and do not make a trade for anybody significant, are you satisfied with the offseason?
Probably not quite. Not quite. I would say there's still needs at the edge position. I'd like to do a little bit more there.
I knew you were just going to start.
Of course.
There.
You know I'm going to go to the D.
Yeah.
But the wide receiver. But I think they've always been pretty aggressive with all these guys when they come available. So if there is a chance to get somebody like A.J. Brown, I think they'll be in on it. So got to be patient. You know, that June 1st thing I think is very real with A.J. Brown.
Okay, so explain that a little bit more, because why does the league do that? Why is there a June 1st designation for that?
That's, you know what, Hardy, that's above my pay grade. I just talk about defense usually. But I mean, you know, the contract stuff. I mean, it's always this weird complications where if you cut them now, it's going to be X amount of money. But if you do it after June 1st, it's less. So, you know, I can't get into the particulars of that, but that seems like the general refrain that's out there. I heard, you know, the clip during the commercial with Jordan Schultz saying the same thing. So, you know, again, though, even if it's not A.J. Brown, it's just I'm kind of getting sick of everybody just coveting everyone else's number one wide receiver. Like, does any other team just sit there and fantasize about A.J. Brown for the last 2 years? I mean, he's a great player. I love him. But at the same time, it just gets a little bit old that we're constantly in a state of like, we need that number one. Where is he? Where is he? And, you know, it gets to be exhausting.
Well, Elliot Wolf said that he looks around the league and you don't necessarily need a number one receiver. Do you buy that line of thought?
Well, I think you're always trying to find one. I just think that if you're trying to get them in free agency via trade, you're always going to be paying a lot. I mean, in a perfect world, you can draft one. I mean, these guys do exist. It's not, yes, there are top 10 picks that are way more talented, and those guys are obvious. You know, maybe a guy like Smith and Jigba drops a tiny bit, but, you know, there are still really good players out there, and I think you're always chasing them, but I'd love to do it through the draft if they could do it. And as we all know, they haven't had a lot of luck there in the last, 10 years plus.
You know, you mentioned edge rusher and, you know, the Max Crosby trade fell through. Is that something that you've heard anything about that still being something that's on the table, including the Patriots?
I don't know for the Patriots. I mean, right now it seems like signs might be pointing to him go back to the Raiders. I mean, he wanted out. Now they made some moves. But he was the kind of guy I definitely would have been in on. I think that was going into the offseason, something that they really had to address. It was really interesting that Chason got, you know, the 1-year deal with Washington, but it seems like they tacked to Draymond Jones, and that was really their strategy. It seems like all their free agents have basically walked, and they've replaced them either with, you know, a player like the guard Vera Tucker that, you know, has had some injury issues but has high upside, to, you know, Kevin Byard, a move I really like, that 1-year deal, who's, you know, really phenomenal player, knows Vrabel. I think he's going to bring a lot to the defense.
In terms of other moves that are being made specifically within the division, is there anyone else you think that has done something that's going to adversely affect the Patriots based on moves that other teams are making?
Hey, you know, I got into a Perillo last week, and I'm sure he might be listening right now. So I mean, we are. I'm like, I feel like the Bills are desperate. I mean, you know, the DJ Moore thing, he's fine. I mean, he's mercurial. Maybe he's still got something left in the tank, but I don't know. I look at the Bills, and it's reminding me a lot of what happened to the Patriots, you know, 5 years ago when they started missing on draft picks, and they're not getting guys, and now guys are leaving, and now they're trying to fix their team through free agency with guys like Bradley Chubb, who's had injury issues. And, you know, so I think the Bills are really up against it right now. I'd love to see the Patriots continue to, you know, put pressure on that team. Seems like Miami's going to blow it up and start over. The Jets are perpetually starting over and blowing it up. but they've got some draft picks, so that'll at least make them a little bit interesting. But right now, it seems like really, the Patriots got to continue to push the Bills. I like the direction the Patriots are headed. I'm not sure about the Bills.
Is there desperation to get some things done before Drake May starts making $70 million a year? That seems to be a narrative here as we get through free agency. But at the same time, Mike Vrabel keeps talking about building a program. Where do you think he's landing on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to just get to the point where you have some young players around Drake that they can all kind of grow together rather than, trying to play whack-a-mole every season where we got to get him a number one this year. Could we find, I like Dobbs. That's, a solid deal. I think he's going to be a good player that, can replace a lot of what Diggs did. But I still think you need to get a little bit younger at that position. A lot of those guys are going to be free agents next year. Hollins, Booty, Pop Douglas. So you really next year you're looking at Dobbs and Kyle Williams for 2027 are the two receivers. So I'd also look at the tight end position. Can you find a young tight end, another young wide receiver? Maybe it is Kyle Williams, and let those guys develop with Drake because, yeah, you're going to have to play Drake. In a perfect world, you're not also having to go out and, find a number one receiver or, pay somebody else to come in and supplement what you've missed in the draft. So it's just always the universal truth to me. If you can draft well and draft players, and especially on the offensive side of the ball right now, get some young guys around Drake that he can grow with and really have a long-term relationship with. I think that's the best way to go. It's not easy to thread that needle, though.
Any talk in the building there about, as I see Tom Brady up on Good Morning America right now, no doubt in a very hard-hitting interview with Michael Strahan. Any talk there in
they have B-roll footage of him throwing a football around.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He played.
Right.
Well, I just think of him as a brilliant team executive now. Any talk around there about Brady and the story that maybe he was not so willing to do any deals with the Patriots and the pushback on that story?
No, not that I've heard. I mean, I think there was some pushback after that as well, that really, wasn't the case. I mean, I think we were all wondering what would that relationship be like. And it's, I was reading something this morning. It's so bizarre how it's all happening that, now you have an owner of a team who's also a broadcaster. You got Troy Aikman is helping out the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I used to just be like a fan blogger and people are like, you're a homer, like blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, it seems like you've really crossed this line right now where it's so murky between these players, who their allegiances are to, who they played to, who they own, all that. So I don't know. It's complicated. It just feels like part of the new dynamic in the NFL, unfortunately.
Do you think that there's any way that it's Fox? Brady's on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
That Fox is a little disappointed that he's not more famous.
Well, it seems like he's doing his best these days.
That's what I'm saying. Like they really got him trudging around. I mean, he's like on Good Morning America on a Tuesday morning in March. I mean, it's like he's not picking up much steam. Like I couldn't think off the top of my head who you've broadcast for.
I mean, it's crazy. And he's everywhere. He wakes up, he's in Europe, then he's back here. He's playing flag football. It's I think at a certain point it went from like that young 6th-round draft pick that we all were like, oh, the upstart. We all want this kid to do well to like, I feel like he became that TB12 kind of brand at some point. And now it's like he's ascended beyond all that. He's like the citizen of the world now, Tom Brady. But you're right. Everywhere you look, there he is.
Okay,
he's out there.
You know what it's like? It's the best. They say that arguably the best ad campaign of all time was the Mars Blackman Nike ads for Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they did, well, first of all, they started that Jordan brand, which is arguably unprecedented, that a guy that's not even playing anymore has got a shoe that's still, raking in hundreds of millions of dollars every year, or a brand. And if you don't know the story, Mars Blackman was Spike Lee.
Yeah.
And Spike Lee was like a fast-talking character, Mars Blackman, in Jordan commercials. Because what they saw is, they go, Michael Jordan is an idiot. He's a dud. And I'm not making this up. I'm not even being mean. They're like, he's an idiot. He's a dud. He's got no personality. We need to get a guy in there to, like, spruce this thing up. So they created the Mars Blackman character. The next thing you know, this is a sensation. Michael Jordan becomes this enormous brand. But if you watch an interview with him, you'll turn it off 10 seconds into it. He's got nothing. And I think that's kind of the thing with Tom Brady is that deep down Brady's just a huge nerd. And that this is what I've been told too by like guys that played with him, that he's like a huge nerd, but then he was catapulted into this stratospheric fame and but deep down, you're still that like nerd. So it's a square peg, round hole situation. He's almost better suited, I would think, to be an executive than he is to be on TV.
Yeah.
He's got that incredible, chip on his shoulder, and he's got that like massive competitiveness that can only come from feeling slighted at some point in your life.
Fred, that's why I love when he's around Gronk. Gronk is like, or even Edelman a little bit. Like that's his Morris Blackman. All of a sudden, you see those guys bring out, a little bit of that side to him. So maybe he's got to just do more stuff with Gronk, who, can be his silly sidekick.
Well, just someone being somewhat transparent around him seems dangerous. Like something may happen. Like him even laughing at something is news. I mean, you've seen what he puts up on Instagram. It's being studied as what's going on with him. You should see Charlotte Wilder. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah. Her and the woman she does her show with will sometimes break down his post and try to figure out what's going on in his life. Like how many of these are thirst traps and things like that. And it's actually kind of funny. So, but it is something that needs to be studied. In his, I'm not dealing with the Patriots stuff. Like it's all very strange. It's all very strange.
We did the Brady, retirement Hall of Fame induction a couple summers ago. I looked at that as like, this is it. This is the culmination. We're all going to have a great time, celebrate what was. Now we're going to kind of go our separate ways. They did the statue for him. But you're right. He's TB12 now. Those days of Tom Brady, long gone.
It's just amazing how little connection he has to this area. It's the same with Jordan, I'd imagine, in Chicago. Like he has no connection to that area. It's just crazy that almost every husband that lived here would have let their wives gladly sleep with Tom Brady. There's jokes about it in Ted. Let alone sleeping with them themselves. I mean, Brady was that kind of god, but he has absolutely no local presence or feels no kind of warm attachment to this area, which is so strange because for 20 years, everyone filleted you. You would think that it's a big city too. You would think that there would be some sort of connection.
It would feel good to stay here. Look, some guys do it, some guys don't. Bobby Orr still very much attached to the area. Larry Bird
did no chance.
Gone.
Gone.
Yeah, but he's got mental problems. I mean, Larry Bird, abusive childhood. Adam knows about it. He's pushing us to have this guy on to write about him. Larry Bird he was fighting guys in the stands at Indiana State. He's a tortured individoal.
All right, so you fix your tortured childhood by moving back to the place where it happened?
I'm just saying that that Larry.
It doesn't excuse it, Fred.
Oh, do you see this lack of empathy, Mike? How can you be friends with this guy?
Seriously, you worked with this guy for how long?
His lack of empathy is really something.
Does he ever do this to you?
Fred called us best friends when he introduced you, Mike. Do you think that's
he
true?
does pee on the trees in my backyard, though, so I appreciate that.
You get to see that hog of his. My goodness. All right. Thank you, Mike Dussault. We appreciate it. Patriots.com.
Thanks, guys.
They're very proud.
See you, Mike.
But yeah, the Charlotte Wilder stuff is interesting because they're very familiar with social media and what people do on social media.
Yeah.
I got no idea. So when he'll put out a photo of him in bed, they're like, there's obviously someone he wants to be sleeping with, and this is kind of a message I'm alone in bed. He's trying to get a particular person to DM him, and it's pretty interesting because they make a pretty good case for it. He'll be like, what to do on Sunday? I'm all alone. And he'll take a picture of himself, with his head on the pillow. And it's okay, well, you obviously want someone to contact you and go, well, you're alone. I could be there with you.
It just seems like there's never a casual thought with him. Everything you see is carefully crafted to move one way or another.
Yeah. Is it a question of him just being really dull and boring and a nerd? Or is it he's so calculated and
they go hand in hand. They can both go hand in hand.
Yeah, you could have both. I could think he's not all that interesting and calculating at the same time.
Because there's that. Yes, exactly. Because there is with that, and I told you, I always go back to him, but Danny Ainge was so impressive because he just had that. He was so confident in himself. Yeah. That he just was I don't care. We'd have him on. He did not care who he upset or anything like that. And I put that with a natural charisma, intelligence, and confidence that when you're overly calculated, like I don't
Didn't
feel
care
that you
how
have
he
that.
looked. Remember, he was literally on the golf course and called us.
Yeah, but it wasn't disrespectful. Like he didn't want to do the interview. He never pretended that he didn't want to do the interview. He wanted to do the interview, but what I'm saying is that he just didn't care who he upset.
Yeah.
And because he carried himself with such a Gorman was the same way. Gorman talked S about people no other broadcaster would talk S about. So those are the guys that I found very impressive. Like guys like that, like
Especially
that over calculation, like hiding behind stuff. That means that you some sort of lack of confidence and conviction in what you're saying.
Especially when Ainge went on the Sports Hub Golf Club and just opened himself up to a whole new audience. And wow, what a conversation!
Well, he says that's why he got the job in Utah. All right, we got a break. All right, here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lost to New Jersey 4-3 in overtime after kicking away an early 2-0 lead. Paul Cotter, the game winner for the Devils with 6.2 seconds left in bonus time, and the Bruins move on to play in Montreal tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jaylen Brown scored 41 points at TD Garden last night. Celtics beat Phoenix 120-112. They host Golden State tomorrow night. First for the NCAA men's basketball tournament is tonight. 16 seeds UMBC and Howard play first. That'll be followed by 11 seeds Texas and North Carolina State. Patriots free agent linebacker Jack Gibbons signed a contract with Arizona yesterday. Venezuela beat Italy last night 4-2 in the semifinals of the World Baseball Classic. They'll play the U.S. in the final tonight. And last but not least, the Red Sox will continue their preseason this afternoon in Fort Myers against Atlanta. Sonny Gray will start. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99. Stop in this St. Patrick's Day for lucky specials like green beer and a corned beef and cabbage dinner. Today only, you gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Chris Manx is going to join us to talk about a team that should probably be winning the Eastern Conference, it looks like, the Celtics. So that will be exciting. We'll talk to him about that. You know, I've been watching these videos of the police cameras, like the YouTube videos of the police cameras, the people getting arrested and stuff like that. That'll keep you from road rage. The only people that look good in those road rage videos are the people that sat tight. There's a camera going all over the place. Like, delivery drivers got a camera on them. They got a camera outside. I get it'll make you behave in traffic. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the people who remain calm and keep cool are the ones the only ones that look like they did the right thing.
Right.
And sometimes when you're doing nothing, as I said to John the other day, big believer in doing nothing.
They had this bicyclist in Park City, Utah, and this kid was going to a skate park, and he said that the kid had like run too close to him, and then he gets and he starts pounding on the window, and the kid like gets out of the car, and he's like, the guy keeps slamming the car to keep him there, and like physically restraining him from going while he calls the cops, and the cops come, and then the kid's filming it, so he shows them to the cops, and they end up arresting the bicycle rider for disorderly conduct, and I guess they could have even popped him for more. There was this one where the security. This was. Let me take you through this. So it's a Home Depot in like Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
and there's a guy or Lowe's.
Go on.
And the guy's able to pick up the used crates, like what do you call those? The
pallets.
Pallets. Thank you. The used pallets.
Yes, a bit more.
And then the guys don't want him doing it. The security guards of the security company that run the parking lot don't want him doing it. And the guy's kind of a dick to them because he has permission. And he's like, get away from me, you're security guards, and they're armed. And so they show he's had many, many run-ins with them. So they ban him from the parking lot. But the Lowe's is like, it's cool. You can still take the pallets. They're trash. We like that you take them away.
Right.
So him and his wife are parked in this parking lot. Armed guard comes up to him. And he goes, like, you can't be here. And he's like, screw off. And he's like, you can't be here. And he's like, whatever. And he turns his car and starts moving it. The guy says that he's moving it at him, shoots him 5 times and kills him. Wow. So a security guard. So the security guard obviously gets second-degree murder and ends up going to jail for basically the rest of his life. And then the widow sues the company that runs the security for $25 million and wins. If you're a security guard, what the hell are you? At what point do you just go, okay, like, all right, and call the police, like the people that can actually arrest the guy that are trained? It turns out this guy didn't even have the license to be like carrying the weapon. He hadn't done like the paperwork correctly or taken the classes. I mean, the whole thing was a joke. They cared so much about this guy picking up these stupid pallets that they killed him. And the guy was just being a dick to him, but they're security guards. Like, if you have permission from the company, it's your business, and you're picking this stuff up, they want you to do it, and these idiot security guards are coming up to you and yelling at you. You'd probably say the same thing. He's just like, whatever, yeah, go away. Like, like, leave me alone. Yeah. And they're like so fired up because they couldn't be cops for whatever reason. They're so fired up, and they got like 10 guns on them and bulletproof vests. It's ridiculous. So yeah, the guy, and then the guy's like, he was moving his car at me. The widow's going crazy. There's 17 people in the parking lot that saw it. It's all on camera. He's got a camera on him.
I wonder what they were doing with the pallets. When they using it for firewood? Were they building
making
something?
A coffin, obviously.
Did you hear any of that story? Or did you just tune out when he said Home Depot?
No, Lowe's. It was Lowe's.
Lowe's. Did he just tune out when he said Lowe's?
Oh, yeah. I just started thinking about all the stuff I could do with pallets.
Yeah, no, he didn't hear any of
pallets.
that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they were at Lowe's. And then you just like, and then you find yourself just waiting for the surveillance footage of him in the questioning. because you want him so badly to go to jail because the whole thing is asinine. And he's like trying to, right after he kills the guy, because the security guard's got a body cam on.
This is quite the saga. Was this a Facebook video?
No, it was on YouTube. It was from something other, like whatever they call those cameras on the cops. But yeah, they showed you through the whole saga. It was different security guards.
Wow.
And you can hear him talking on the CB like, yeah, you know, we've had our run-ins with him before. Then he kills him. And the whole thing is like he was driving the car at me and the guy wasn't driving the car anywhere near him. You have a camera on, you idiot. You just killed the guy. And he kills the guy and there's the whole aftermath of after he killed him. It's fascinating stuff. Now, I don't want to watch too many of them because I don't want to think that you get shot in parking lots.
No.
But there's a real enemy there. I mean,
yes.
Like, I wouldn't even want the gun. I wouldn't want anything to do with it. Anything involving me with that gun, I'm walking away from if I'm a security guard. I don't want anything to do with it. I will call the police. I'll be your eyes and ears, but I don't want a gun.
I don't think anyone wants you to have a gun.
Yeah, that's good. Because if I'm in the Lowe's, you're at a Lowe's parking lot in the middle of the day, strapped with like 17 guns. Like when the guy comes to arm rob the Lowe's, okay,
yeah.
you know, what am I going to do? Maybe then you want the gun if there's an armed robbery. But
or
short of that,
if he's trying to take the snowblowers from the sidewalk,
the guy's taking pallets. They're so mad they're taking pallets that they kill the guy.
No.
And they're all like happy about it too. They kill the guy, and right after they kill the guy, like they're all like pretty satisfied with themselves.
You've never been tempted? You see a snowblower there,
John?
It's late at night. Oh, that's a nice model.
You can't steal a snowblower. You'd have to have a ramp up to the truck.
First,
you're telling me he doesn't drive around with
one? He
one?
doesn't drive a pickup anymore.
No,
well,
the truck
it's
is
true
gone.
now. No, but all those years before, yes.
I'm also going to Boston Lawnmower for any heavy equipment like that.
And he's got a trade deal with them, so he doesn't need to steal nothing.
Well, I mean,
those prices are so low, you're stealing anyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's the service and the selection.
That's right.
My bad.
And while you had to get your HVAC done at AccuTemp, that's a personal endorsement. Use that. Send that to them. All right. That was on the arm.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back with Christopher Manx.
You're listening to
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lost in New Jersey 4-3 in overtime after blowing an early 2-0 lead. David Pastrnak, 2 goals for the Bruins. Paul Cotter, 2 goals for the Devils, and that includes the game winner in bonus time. Bruins are in Montreal tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics swept their season series with Phoenix last night, care of a 120-112 win at TD Garden. Jaylen Brown scored 18 of his game-high 41 points in the fourth quarter. Devin Booker, 40 points for the visitors. The Celtics host Golden State tomorrow night. Patriots linebacker Jack Gibbons headed elsewhere. He is signed with Arizona. At the World Baseball Classic, Venezuela beat Italy 4-2 in the semifinals, so it'll be the U.S. against Venezuela in the final tonight in Miami. Red Sox rained out of their exhibition game against Baltimore last night in Florida. Sonny Gray pitches today in Fort Myers against Atlanta. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rodenheiser Home Services. You could win a new high-efficiency gas furnace from Rodenheiser. If your furnace is 10 years or older, outdated, and unreliable, go to Rodenheiser.com/5 free furnaces to enter. That's Rodenheiser.com/5 free furnaces. No purchase necessary. Rules online. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Diving effort. He's got a breakaway. To the backhand. Throws it in front. Coming to the spot.
The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Individuals who seek acceptance, respite, and care.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
I think we've done a really good job of that, over the last 9 years, especially probably these last 6. We've just found a way to really complement each other on both ends of the floor and win a bunch of basketball games and win a bunch of playoff series and win a championship. Just something we've been doing for a long time.
We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Chris Manx writes for Sports Illustrated. Chris Manx, are you just buying time until the big Pacquiao-Mayweather fight in Las Vegas?
I can't think of something I'd rather watch less, and it's quite that's quite the 180 too. Because if you'd asked me 10, 11 years ago now, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you things I'd want to watch more than Pacquiao fight against Mayweather. But the idea of sitting through a fight with a 50-year-old Floyd Mayweather and a 47-year-old Manny Pacquiao, that does nothing for me.
How did boxing fall this far? Because that seems to be what is going on these days, other than Jake Paul fighting a former heavyweight champion. It just doesn't seem to be anything for the casual fan these days.
Well, I think there are things for the casual fan. They just don't wind up on platforms like Netflix. Netflix, they've got a strategy, and it's unique to combat sports. Like, they don't give a damn what the product looks like in the ring. Like, the second, and this is applicable to this Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey thing that's coming up in a couple of months.
Well, of course.
If after the opening bell rings, the roof of the building caves in, Netflix doesn't care. They don't care. They care about what the promotion is like, the buildup is like, how many people are talking about the event, and they care how many people are watching the moment that first bell rings. Everything else is just gravy. Now, in other, DAZN, who I work for, ESPN, everybody else, they care about the product because they want to keep people on the service to watch this. Netflix, all they care about are the people that are jumping on for that first bell, and if the roof caves in, they want them turning around and watching like Virgin River or something afterwards.
Is that wise, do you think, to kind of bait and switch people like that?
I think there's only so many times you can go to this well, and this might be the year that they bump up against that threshold, because they did it with Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. The Tyson Anthony Joshua fight was probably a little more entertaining, I guess, than people expect because of how long Jake lasted, and they've had some good women's fights. But I think aesthetically, this Carano Rousey thing is going to be very bad. And I know that Pacquiao Mayweather is going to be very bad. So I think this is probably the year where you might see diminishing returns afterwards if you keep putting on shows that really don't result in anything interesting in the ring or the cage.
Chris, do you think Pacquiao and Mayweather, and then we'll turn to basketball, but Pacquiao and Mayweather kind of have an understanding that they're not going to pound each other too much? There's like a when they get in there, they know that this is just an exhibition.
No, because they couldn't anyway. Like they're old. They're just old dudes, right?
Yeah,
well, they're old for combat sports. Like, I mean, I watched Pacquiao against Mario Barrios. So Pacquiao fought Mario Barrios last summer. Everybody, it was surprisingly competitive. It was a draw. Everybody's like, wow, Pacquiao looked pretty good. Fast forward like 6 months, and Mario Barrios goes up against a real guy, and Ryan Garcia, and gets the break speed off him. Like, it's like, oh, maybe Mario Barrios actually isn't very good, and that's kind of why this all played out. I've been watching these Floyd Mayweather exhibitions, for the last, 3 or 4 years. He's older, he's slower, he can't beat Logan Paul. Like, it's like, I mean, I think if they went out there and, decided to, fight like gladiators, they wouldn't be able to do it. They're just not as fast. They're not as quick. It's just going to be kind of a hug fest that, is not going to result in anything good. There's going to be, I mean, the first fight was so disappointing, but that was kind of like we didn't really expect it to be that bad. This one, if you're going in and expecting some kind of modern day classic, I promise you are leaving this thing disappointed.
How much of it, and this last thing on it, has to do with the venue, which seems kind of silly because unless you're there, I don't know that it's going to matter that much.
Sphere, right?
But
yeah,
the fact that it's going to be there, it probably has a lot to do with them deciding to do it. And it's like, oh, this will be cool. It'll be at the Sphere. We can do all kinds of stuff we haven't done before. I don't know if it's going to translate for the pay-per-view audience, but I wonder if they would be that interested in doing it again unless they had that venue.
Yeah, I do think they would have done it. I mean, they've been talking about putting this together for about 6 months now. The Sphere wasn't, the Sphere, not to get too bogged down in the history of it, the Sphere used to be really, really, really expensive to do shows there, and now it's not so much because they've had a hard time getting acts in there consistently. So doing stuff like this is a little bit cheaper than it would have been 5 years ago or whatever it was when the Sphere first opened. They would have done this at T-Mobile Arena. They would have done this at the MGM Grand. They would have done this, I mean, at the TD Garden. Like they would have done it anywhere to just get these guys in the ring and get the Netflix check that's coming. It'll definitely look cooler at the Sphere. I've been there once. It's a ridiculous venue. So it will definitely look interesting. The UFC fight I wasn't there for, but I heard that was pretty special what they did at the Sphere. So it'll be cool. I don't think that matters. I think these two guys, for unfortunate reasons, both need the money, and they're both determined to make this thing happen.
That's unfortunate.
Amazing that they both need the money.
Yeah. Well, listen, they've had conservative lifestyles, but life
that's true.
Has served up some challenges.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, are the Celtics the best team in the East?
I would say yes. And what Jaylen Brown said last night about how this isn't the best version of us is 100% true. I mean, you can see as well as Jason Tatum is playing, he's still not close to being 100%. As impressive as some of the numbers are, you can see them getting better once he kind of figures out his role within the offense. I mean, early on, you can see like Jason Tatum, he's really been motivated not to be a disruptive force. And you saw it from the very first game he played when he came back, when he was operating as a facilitator. He's been doing a lot of that in the games he's played with Jaylen Brown. He's not looking to upset the apple cart here, but as he gets more comfortable, he's just going to be so much better. He's going to be more aggressive, and they're going to be a much more prolific offensive team. And they're a really good offensive team anyway. And when I look across the Eastern Conference, just a lot of flaws. I mean, I don't know if Detroit has enough three-point shooting. I mean, they were on a skid earlier this month, and that's because they went from averaging like 60 points in the paint to like 45. So if they're not dominating in the paint, they're not going to be quite as good. The Knicks are in the middle of a mess right now. People are blaming Jalen Brunson for some of that stuff. There's just a lot of unreliability, including Cleveland, amongst the other teams in the East. When we get to the playoffs, assuming Tatum continues this kind of uptick in how he's playing, the Celtics are going to be the most reliable Eastern Conference team that's out there. They're the most experienced Eastern Conference team when it comes to playoff stuff. I mean, I was very interested to see how Tatum looked like in the first couple of weeks. But given that this seems to be the floor for him for how he's going to be playing, I can't see an argument you can make or a good one that says the Celtics aren't the team to beat in the East.
Well, Chris, you said reliable. There are still some questions among the Celtics role players. Like, do you think Neemias Queta can hold up against the size that Detroit, New York, and maybe even Cleveland have in a 7-game series? And what about guys like Baylor Shireman and Hugo Gonzalez who haven't been there before?
Yeah, there's no doubt that there are questions. I mean, Queta is probably the biggest one of them, especially. I mean, I don't know what the Vucevic situation, how that's going to work out when he comes back. Is he, back in, what is it now, 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Or is he, being reevaluated in 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll see him maybe after the first round. Like they need him. He has not been good, really with the Celtics since he's been there, but they need another body, because if you're playing the teams that you mentioned, the Detroits, the New Yorks, even Cleveland with those big bodies, you have to have somebody out there to supplement Queta. But I don't look at it as like, all right, you go up against Cleveland, like or you go up against Detroit, how do you match up with that size? To me, it's more about how does Detroit match up with Boston's, lack of size or the way they play small. Like Cleveland, like Duncan Robinson is like the only reliable, consistent 3-point shooter on that team. And if you're going 3 for 2 on a lot of possessions, you're going to win those games. So it is a cause for concern. We haven't seen Shireman do it. We haven't seen Jordan Walsh do it. But we have seen all these other guys do it. The guys are going to be playing 35 plus minutes per game. And the matchups themselves, including against New York, who I think is probably the toughest matchup because of what we saw last season. I think the matchups themselves, they all favor the Celtics.
Yeah, so you think the Knicks are the biggest threat to them in the East?
But I mean, if you listen to the way that, people in New York in the organization kind of spin the yarn, it's like, we're kind of stuck in the mud a little bit right now, but all our guys are going to level up. Like we've got guys that will level up in the playoffs, Anunoby, Bridges will be better. Jalen Brunson's built for that. Towns, he's had success in Minnesota and last year in New York in the playoffs. Like they believe they can level up. And look, for right now, you can't argue that. Like the Knicks got the doors beat off in the regular season last year by the Celtics. Everybody thought that was going to be like a 5 or 6 game series. I thought at least for Boston because of the matchups. But then they go out and, their role players or their guys play great and they're able to have success because they have great defensive wings. Yeah, I mean, I can buy the argument that for now that the Knicks will be a better postseason team than they are a regular season team. The variable, though, is, the guy that was, organizing the game plan isn't there anymore. And there's certainly some rumblings, around the Knicks that it's like, all right, there's not the level of granular detail with this staff than it was maybe with Tom Thibodeau, who's the most detailed coach, I think, in basketball in years. So I think that's certainly something to watch, but I can see a scenario where the Knicks just get a lot better from their top 5 guys in the playoffs.
On the other side of that, in terms of coaching, are you surprised by 2 things, Chris? Number one, how well Missoula did while Jason Tatum was coming back. And number 2, how quickly Jason Tatum has ramped up. I think he played 32 minutes last night. He's playing 27 in his first 3 games back.
Yeah, this is, on the Tatum stuff, this has been the plan for him all along, to keep him in the 25, 30 minute per game early and start to slowly bump those minutes up as we get to right around now. I mean, I think it's happened a little bit faster maybe than I expect. I thought it might be a week or 2 before he's cracking that 30-minute mark, but this was always the plan, to play him. I think what I was hearing, like 3 games out of 4, which is what happened with the Oklahoma City thing. And then you probably see him doing that more over the next couple of months or a couple of weeks, I guess, where he's sitting out the 4th game of that stretch. But yeah, it's exceeded my expectations with how quickly he's kind of fallen into this level of play that he's got. And as far as Missoula goes, I don't know how you vote for anybody else for Coach of the Year. I mean, I was at the Spurs-Lakers game last night, and, Mitch Johnson's been phenomenal. J.B. Bickerstaff has been phenomenal. But if you told anybody that this team would be camped out in the number 2 seed and within shouting distance of number 1 this late in the season, how many people would have believed you? Like, who would have thought that Baylor Shireman would have been effective playing these minutes? Jordan Walsh would be effective playing these minutes. That they would have gotten production of Anthony Simons like they did in the first half of the season. Like it wouldn't be a stretch to believe that Jaylen Brown could play at this level. Like I think we all kind of believed he was going to put up big numbers this year. But everybody else that they would get here is crazy. Like that you look at their depth chart and it's like, this is the team with the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. I think this has been the most masterful coaching job of any coach in the league this year. The best coaching job that Joe Mazzulla has done. He's done some good ones in his first few years. I think he's hands down the coach of the year.
Taking all that into account, Celtics played at San Antonio and at Oklahoma City last week or the week before. They hung with both those teams. If the Celtics do win the East, would they have a shot to beat either one of those teams in a 7-game series in the finals?
Well, in a vacuum, I would say no, but these playoffs are just not going to be fought in a vacuum. They are played in a vacuum. Like the reason I give the Celtics a chance to win a series like that is because whoever comes out of this Western Conference playoff bracket is going to be war-torn. It's going to be like a 6 seasons of Game of Thrones for this team that comes out of the West. It's just going to be 7-game series after 7-game series, beginning in the first round. Like whoever San Antonio gets is going to bruise them up. Oklahoma City, even if they're the 1 seed, like let's say they play the Clippers, who are playing good basketball since Kawhi Leonard started playing again, like one of the best players on the planet. Garland's been great for them. I mean, it's just going to be a rough road for any of those Western Conference teams. And if the Celtics can find a way to get through their conference, their bracket relatively unscathed, then you're looking at, and if you get like Oklahoma City coming in with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander worn down from playing 40 minutes against, the Stefan Castle the series before, and one of their guards, their more physical guards, are a little bit more worn down there. Chet Holmgren banged up from going up against Wembanyama. It levels the playing field a little bit. It really does. So I'm interested to see. Look, if it's on paper, they're not going to beat a Western Conference team. They were great against them last week, and I was really surprised at how well they played against everyone, especially Oklahoma City with Tatum out. But I just, if it's on paper, I don't like their chances. But if that Western Conference team, if they've got some bruises on them, I think that opens the door for a big upset.
No, that would be something. Coming into the season, people were talking about playing if they competing for
incredible.
a
I was talking about keeping their draft pick. Like I thought by December we'd be like, you know what? This is one of the best draft classes in years. AJ DeBance is in, a local kid. Let's try to let's just see if Jordan Walsh wants to play 40 minutes a night. Let's do some funky things to keep our lottery odds pretty high. But I mean, it is honestly one of the more remarkable seasons that I've ever seen in the 20 years covering the NBA. To lose 4 of their top 7 rotation players, to have Tatum miss this much time, to effectively wave the white flag in July, and understandably, I mean, you shouldn't have asked the ownership to pay that kind of bill when you weren't really going anywhere with Tatum out. But to be in this position, it begins with Mazzulla. It includes obviously Brad Stevens for the guys that he found, but this is one of the most remarkable seasons I've ever had a chance to cover.
All right, well, that's high praise. Chris Manx, thank you so much. Read him in Sports Illustrated. We appreciate the time, sir.
Anytime, guys.
All right, there you go. Chris Manx, the world of boxing and basketball, very bullish on the Celtics. Hard to see why you wouldn't be. I don't know who beats them in the East. I don't think that Detroit does.
The Knicks are going to, and I agree with Chris, the Knicks, because they beat them last year, and the Celtics had a much better team last year, the Knicks can be physical enough, and they play well enough at home, and they're a pain in the ass to go against. Over a 7-game series, I could see the Knicks beating them, but yeah, I would like the Celtics' chances against just about anybody else.
Yeah, I like him against the Knicks and the Pistons, but I do think both of them are physical series. It's going to take a lot.
Oh, well, the Pistons are going to, if they play the Pistons, that's all the Pistons can do.
Then that's the thing. If the Celtics are able to make the finals, they're going to be just as beat up as whatever Western Conference team gets there.
Right, yeah. I mean, when they played San Antonio, the Pistons, they had an elbow into Wembanyama. He was 2 feet behind the three-point line. They had an elbow into him. Like the strategy was plainly clear. Is that they were going to body him no matter where he was on the court. They were going to have someone digging into him. There was never a moment where he probably wasn't in physical discomfort. Now, they lost by a lot, but what are you going to do? All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Our tremendous email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. If you want to email us, you can go to 985thesportshub.com. I need to Blind Scott has got to stop emailing me. They're coming in like once a minute. But there you go. If you want to email us there, and if you want to get to us on social media and see the new Thuppets video that Hardy has produced that's very popular, you can go to @Toucher and Hardy on Instagram, @Hardy985, or @FredToucher on Instagram. And if you would like to get some songs in, where you're looking for songs, theme songs for the individual puppets, there's a puppet of Nick, Gemelli, of Hardy, of myself, and one that was already made of Wallach. We didn't even have to have it made. And those are all out there. We're looking for theme songs. Someone will get tickets to a Celtics home playoff game. So you do that by mailing your 60-second or less song to adam12@bbgi.com. There you go. We were talking about the kid.
I just read some of the Blind Scott emails. Yeah, it's getting weird.
What's he talking about?
36
I haven't looked at all
emails.
Of them. I haven't looked at any of them.
Let's see. The latest one said, Fred, I have a feeling you're going to block my emails, so I just want to tell you that people are putting information about your divorce in the chat, something to do with Soul Cycle. And I never had any knowledge of, and I don't know if it's true or not, but you ... and then it stops because you only put stuff in the subject line, and you can only put so much in a subject.
What?
What's Soul Cycle?
I don't know.
Is that the thing that Giselle did?
Yes.
Oh,
maybe that's what it is. You saw her that one time at Soul Cycle.
I didn't see her. My ex-wife.
Your ex-wife saw her at Soul Cycle. She took a class with your ex-wife.
Yes.
Is that it? That's got to be.
Yeah. There's no smoking gun. It's with my divorce and Soul Cycle, so they feel free to pontificate upon that.
Also, now please that we put Mike the Leprechaun on the air and not him.
Oh well, what are you going to do? He's on hold right now. Blind Scott, please stop emailing so much. David says we were talking about the kid from Alabama, the basketball player that's got felony charges. I was all excited. I said, "What'd the kid do?" He had a pound of marijuana. And I went, "Huh? Big deal." And I said, if the kid's making $1-2 million a year, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he has a pound of marijuana for personal use, just to buy it all at once and then not have to deal with it. A lot of people pushing back on that. David says, you said it yourself, Fred, even the kids you knew purchased the pound with the intention to sell it. I know two guys, my friend's brother's friends. When I was in high school, they were seniors. I was a freshman. They bought a pound. And they had a half-ass scheme that they were going to sell it. They had the idea that they were going to sell half of it, but they didn't sell it. Nobody or very, very few people buy a pound of weed all for personal use. I've seen it many times backstage, meaning twice. I agree with everything else you're saying, ruining the kid's life, jail time, misappropriation of resources, etc. It's all ridiculous as hell. But if you were a cop, you'd be absolutely arrested, kid, if that was the law, or you wouldn't last long as a cop. That's from Dave. I wouldn't last long as a cop. I'm a coward. I would not do well with that. So, but I don't know how big a pain in the ass it is to arrest someone. It seems like there's quite a lot of paperwork that needs to be done. And if I saw there was just a bunch of weed, I don't know.
Well,
I wouldn't be that into it.
Riz emailed in and said,
Riz is on there. He's probably in this Soul Cycle chat.
Well, he says, how is Jazz Wallach not upset about what's going on down there in Alabama?
You're on my turf. I got with a girl so freaky one time I made her pregnant. She had a cyclops.
She had a cyclops?
That's right. That's straight inbreed. You know what Jazz Wallach says now?
No.
Word to your mother. You know? I say word to your mother.
I got it.
You catch me, Jack. That's what I say when I put the root down. Skaboom.
Pat-ow.
I made myself a cyclops. Look at that freaking thing. Came out all backwards and empty.
Do you support the Cyclops? I mean, it is yours.
Hell no. It was freaky deaky. Then I skedaddled out of town. Word to your mother.
I blew town.
I blew town, Jack. I was like the wind. I was like the breeze. Word to your mother.
I don't know why that's making me laugh.
We were talking about why people are still dealing, illegal marijuana. It's legal in most places. Now, not in Alabama.
No, nothing. They only like guns.
No, I asked my friend again. I'm like, why is it? My friend was in law enforcement. He says, well, it's got such an illegal trade because it's cheaper when it's done illegally. There's no taxes and markups. Also, people just love the whole buying and selling drugs thing. It's part of it is the thrill of it, but you can also get it for cheaper, and then you sell it to cheaper to people than if they were going to the dispensary.
Okay, but why is that not happening with alcohol? Like, why isn't there bootlegging? Because conceivably you could make your own alcohol and sell it for cheaper because it wouldn't have the sin tax on it.
Harder to transport. It's a lot heavy. It's probably harder to make. It's harder.
Oh, it's certainly harder to make, I would imagine.
But he said Boston imports a lot of regular weed from Vietnamese drug dealers. And there's a huge market in California for specialty weed, and people will go out there, fly out there, and buy a bunch of super high-end weed that they can sell back here at a big
Maui
market.
Wowie.
Right.
It's Maui time. That's Arthur Peace talk. Don't mind us. We're just chatting about Detroit. There was a big implication when Arthur P. went to Maui, to my understanding, that there was weed. Because of the whole, Maui time.
Okay.
Like, it was like Maui Wowie.
Okay.
Which I've never... That's right. That's from the commercial where the WRF radio at one time had things like this. There was a band from Detroit called the Romantics that were playing in Japan, and they had a trip for you and a friend to Japan where you would be seeing the Romantics and hanging out with Arthur P. They were flying Arthur P. out to Japan, and to illustrate this, they had a commercial on television that they got for free because they owned the TV station too. And two Asian women came out as beautiful Asian women came out as geisha girls.
Yeah, were there two geishas that were next to him?
Yeah,
on
yeah.
either,
And they're
either side
rubbing
of
him.
him. Yeah.
And he's all fat. So he's not fat anymore, but he was all fat back then, and they're rubbing him, and they go Papa-san. And he was like, baby. Because he used to go, baby.
That's okay. It's celebrating the culture. I think
That's
it's
right.
okay.
Yeah, he had two. They were saying that if you go to Japan with us, two Asian chicks go rub you down nice. And instead of going, baby, he goes, baby. At least that's how I remember it. I don't want to know if I'm right, if I'm wrong. Don't tell me. Baby. John's got me all backwards and forwards with this Barrett Media article about Felger and Maz. They're getting a lot of love right now.
Yep.
Felger and Maz are getting a lot of national love. I feel that we had our moment last year.
Yeah.
So good for Felger and Maz getting some shine. Our big story was last year with our success.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with you, Jonathan. I don't like to see other people praised. They say that a rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah.
But enough with that's 2 times now Felger and Maz have been praised as the reason the station is
far
number one.
too many. If it's one more time than us, far too many.
That's right. I don't like that at all. And I'm being honest with you. I didn't care for it when Alpha Announcing said it, but then I let it pass. But now that you've given me this article from someone I've done, Felger and I took the stage as a tandem for.
Yeah, this is far too many. I'm not a fan.
Some conversation with Maz, he makes it all happen. So you're pointing at T-Bone.
Well, T-Bone's, I think, was kind of giving the whole shrug yeah, not like the midday show has been suckling hind teat to anybody for more than a decade.
Right. Those guys have been number one for a long time.
You know what? They're trying to divide us from the outside. They're trying to get in, and they're trying to play to our egos and divide us. Because
it's working.
Damn it.
They reach out to Maz and they're like, we want to do an interview with you. And Maz is very humble in the interview. Maz is a great interview. Yeah. Maz knows what's going on. He's a great guy. But then without his knowledge, they make it sound like that they're the sole responsible person.
They shaped his answers to fit their narrative, basically.
When Hardy and I have been a part of this enterprise since before it even existed.
Yeah.
I mean, Felger was on some AM station. I wasn't a sports guy, nor am I today. Maybe that's how I reconcile the praise Felger and Maz gets, is that they are more of a sports show. And this, I don't know if it would be overly considered a sports show. That's how I reconcile it.
Right.
That must be what's going on.
Well, let's do a sports email then.
All right, I'm pretty aggravated.
D said,
my ego is very, very upset. Go ahead. Chai
Hey.
got me going.
Yeah.
Did you
He
see
knew what he was doing because he's upset too. Go ahead.
Sports email. Did you see Jordan dressed in fishing ropes supporting the state of Maine? Apologies if discussed and I missed it.
No, I was wondering why Maine got all these grants for fishermen, and then it must have been because of her social media posts. She's supporting the Maine fishermen. She has a voice, and she's using it to support them. And, of course, that's the main story in the press right now is how to support the Maine fishermen.
So that's why she entered the pageant.
But I got to say, out of all the photos I've seen of Jordan, this is maybe the most attractive. It's it's a dress made of fishing ropes, but
well, that's where Belichick's money's going, is having a designer make a dress out of fishing ropes. So under the guise of, again, it's one of the things Hardy, you've probably heard this in your travels, if you know what I'm saying. If you're doing something for charity solely to look good, it's no longer a charitable act.
That's the rub.
Yeah, that's the rub. Like there's a lot of people that do great things for charity, but the more you
never know about it.
Like take a glamour shot promoting it, that negates like all the philanthropic endeavor of it. Like
I like to post photos of myself. I'll do a selfie when I hand money to people on the street. And I'll put that up on my Instagram.
Oh, I'm horrible about telling people when I do anything nice. I want credit. If I'm doing something nice, I get pissed off that I'm not getting credit. I'm a terrible person, but at least I know. Like if you do something to like help raise a lot of money for charity, and then in the aftermath of that, you say how much money that you raise for the charity. That's self-praise. That's self-aggrandizing, and that kind of removes the whole valor of raising the money for the charity. And I'm not speaking of anyone in particular. I am talking about this because of Jordan, is that she took a glamour photo under the guise of charity. Just like, remember when the Red Sox put out those Dickie albums about rock songs? And they're like, this is for the Jimmy Fund. Well, you're the Red Sox. Take all the ticket proceeds from a game and give it to the Jimmy Fund. No, you wanted to play rock music and pretend that you were a rock star, and you're doing it under the umbrella of charity so no one can make fun of you.
Well, it's hot stove cool music.
Yeah, it's just like that's annoying to me. It's annoying to me. You want to play music, just kind of admit it. But you don't want to be made fun of.
I'm going to start a separate social media account just highlighting all of my philanthropic efforts, and I'll do a selfie when the guy comes up to you at the light and he wants money. Just get a little winking at, and sometimes just me patting a young child on the head that I encounter on the street. Just spreading a little sunshine to that tot's life.
And I remember
look out, Canon legislator. So you got a new comptroller in town. Someone's looking to get that vote.
I remember Letterman used to tell stories about Jay Leno and how people would pull over to the side of the road. Everyone helps people on the side of the road. Just Leno brings a camera crew with him,
right,
to make sure that
right.
everyone sees it.
It's like, I'm supporting Maine fishermen. Are you doing that, or are you having a dress made and taking a glamour shot to make yourself look good?
Well, it's both.
But then no one can say anything because it's under the guise of that you're doing it for a bigger cause. That's all. There you have it.
Be listening to Riff for your chance to invade Japan with the Grand Poobah-san.
Grand Poobah-san.
Yeah, because he was going to Japan, and that's how they talk. Chip, go ahead. Chip,
yes,
go
it
ahead.
It sounds like Jordan was not applying the scriptural counsel to when handing out gifts of mercy or charity. Do not let your right hand know what your left hand is doing.
Skaboom,
Jordan
Chippy.
didn't know that.
That's right, Chip. We're very pious and holy. It is
when
aggravating.
Poobah-san gives you the word, be the third caller.
I don't know why that struck me as incredibly funny, but it is.
Because his name was Papa or something. They were calling him Papa-san because that's how they talk in Japan.
But the Grand Poobah-san, for some reason, is another
the
level.
Grand Poobah-san, because, all those people over there in Japan, they talk like that.
Well, the Grand
Hotel,
Poobah-san.
concert tickets, and 88,000 yen spending money.
Oh, how much is that?
$2. The exchange rate was terrible. back then.
88,000 yen.
Yeah, I like how it's 88,000. That's not even the dial position. I don't even know what the hell they're doing. It's not like they were at 88. I can tell you that.
Yeah, why didn't they do 101,000 yen?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been that much more.
No, and they had all the money in the world because they were owned by ABC.
Yeah.
88,000 yen is like $5.
Well, but what was it in 1984?
Yeah, $5 gets you a pack of smokes.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins kicked away a 2-0 second period lead. They lost in New Jersey last night, 4-3 in overtime. They're in Montreal tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 right here on your flagship radio station for the Bruins, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics got 41 points from Jaylen Brown. They beat Phoenix at TD Garden last night, 120-112. They'll host Golden State tomorrow evening. Patriots free agent linebacker Jack Gibbons has signed a contract with the Arizona Cardinals. At the World Baseball Classic, Venezuela beat Italy last night 4-2 in the semifinals, so they'll play the U.S. in the final tonight down in Miami. Red Sox rained out of their exhibition game against Baltimore last night in Florida. Sonny Gray starts for the Sox today against Atlanta at JetBlue Park. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Avidia Bank, the Metro West's best bank. Work with a community bank that goes above and beyond for their customers and their community. Honest to goodness. Member FDIC, member DIF. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 10 o'clock.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Very quickly, we were talking about how our fathers all had pensions. And I was speculating on the 401k. The 401k was created in 1978. And the Economic Policy Institute says that 401ks are a poor substitute for the defined benefit pension plans. 38% of workers in 1979 had pensions, as opposed to 13% now. So we really got screwed in that whole thing.
Zoe's got a pension.
Yeah, he's got that football pension. He's got that NFLPA.
Did you already start taking it?
Well, I'm not touching the 401k. I actually rolled that all over.
What was the match from that the NFL gave you on your 401k?
You don't want to.
Was it
so we had
two,
we
was
we
it
were
2
able
to 1?
We were able to put in $13,900 every year. Every year we did that, they doubled it. So every year I put in
More appliances.
85% of the guys declined it because you're not taking my money now. I want my money.
Right.
Like, well, you
smart.
Yeah.
Well,
go,
so they
go buy another Mercedes.
They would have, yeah.
Get a Range Rover with it too.
Right. Yeah. So they had a chance to double their income. With that.
Double their savings.
Well, no, but that particular income, $13,000 of income, turns into $26,000 just based on deferring it for a later date.
Yeah.
I mean, because even if you took it out of the 401k early to buy appliances like Gary, the taxing on that still is not double. It's not double the income.
So now I get
just by taking it and taking
monthly,
it out.
so it's for every year you play times the amount that you're owed until you die. So
yeah, so you have a pension.
Yeah,
which is very
Started
rare now.
55, and I'm over 55.
13% of people. You don't look it, buddy.
Don't tell anybody what. How old you are?
He is.
Yeah.
You can find out.
Well, I'm trying to get off this young vibe, you know.
Oh yeah.
We all do. You can read the
nice
parrot.
today, Hardy. What do you wear? What do you got? Picture?
Yeah, he's got a whole
What are you
thing.
meeting a
Going
golf guy somewhere?
Nah, you got a little video shoot over at
I'm sure
Vanguard
you do.
Golf
You can
Vanguard
just
Golf
tell.
Club.
You're dressed up today.
Yeah.
I'll see you over at Cape Club this spring, bud.
Oh, good.
Me and the boy are coming in. The boy wants to know if they got any good burgers here.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, where are we going for lunch? Mom's in Florida. I said, well, we go to Cape Club. I don't know if everybody. They got burgers there? I'm like, yeah. He said, they'll like us there. Remembers now.
Bonus for those of you watching on YouTube right there. I want a real close-up on Hardy's face for that one.
Guess who's coming to dinner, baby?
It's my safe space for years.
That's right,
No
Colin.
more.
You focus on Hardy's face right there.
Zoe and I showed up at the big member guest 3 day. They invited Zoe to come, just kind of hang out. I said, I'll go there with you. I'll be there as, introduce you around a little bit.
Mhm.
What did you actually do that night for your paid appearance?
I ate.
Yeah.
I yelled at the guy who was on the upstairs yelling at the boss downstairs. Remember, he was up.
Yeah.
The guy up top. He was yelling. I watched that barbershop quartet sing.
There's a barbershop quartet?
Yeah. That barbershop. That was humming. He's doing it.
Wow, so they paid someone to annoy you with the barbershop quartet.
No, I don't remember the barbershop quartet, but I remember you eating.
Yeah. We had some food. You guys had that's a nice spread. Mike puts on a nice spread there.
Yeah.
That's essentially a pension, too. Just being able to do appearances. You'd be able to do that for the rest of your life.
I want him fighting over in Bangor, Maine this summer. So once we do it, I'm on this side. That's a drive.
That is a drive.
How much?
It's up there.
Yeah? What's it for?
Not sure. Oh, it's a casino. It's a new casino there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, head up there. They got food at a casino. You can go up there and eat.
They'll bring me up. They put me over.
Yeah.
And I'm like 2 days in the summer up in Bangor.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why
Get
not?
itchy up there. Why don't you come play video poker?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
I got a guy up there.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, God.
There you go. All right.
Go all night. You guys see Leprechaun today? I said, oh, yeah.
All right. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.